Well, good evening everybody and welcome to a brand new season of the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship, live and exclusive here on the DDMM Double Dash Motorsport Media YouTube channel. My name is Andrew Mather, and alongside me for this brand new season, as ever, is my partner in crime, Howard Mitchell. Howard, we are back where it all began in March 2020 here at Okayama for a season opener with a brand new car and a brand new format. How excited are you for tonight's racing?
Hello Andrew, hello everybody. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. As you say, it's sort of fitting that we're here, right, at Okayama, as I say, where this all started with this championship. Now, can you believe it, going into its 4th season? It's really quite something, isn't it? But we're mixing, as you say, the established, the old, the vintage, if you like, with the new, as you say, with the introduction of the new car to our Club 100 BUKC iRacing Championship. The Toyota GT86, still a relatively new addition to the iRacing service that we are going to put through its paces around this Okayama circuit. Really looking forward to it, mate. Once again, it's a cracking season that we've got ahead of us. We've got the 3 classes going. We've got returning drivers, new drivers. Welcome to them all. Thank you very much for coming along. And yeah, really stoked for this one, mate. It's gonna be good.
It is indeed. Good evening to Jason Dilworth, who we're going to. Well, if you've got the DDMM bingo card out, here's your mention of Jaffa Cakes for the evening. He has been bribed with them to say go Tim Penny, who's one of our new drivers to the iRacing world here tonight. Hello to Dino. Thomas Cope, our simographer. We've really kicked things up in the world. We're going to have some great photography tonight from Tom, I'm sure, over the 2. I should say we're starting in Okayama, but tonight is, of course, a double header. We'll get onto that in a minute. Issa as well. He says he's not part of a BUKC or Club 100, but a British Uni Sim racer. We'll have a look. We'll have a think about that, mate. Let's see if we can find a loophole to get you in, because it'd be great to have you on this grid. But yes, sorry, it is a double header tonight. We're starting at Okayama. The format is thus, Howard.
It is thusly that we will do. Well, we're doing a sort of heat format for the first time ever. So those who have followed us before will be familiar with the idea of us doing 3 races. We are doing 3 races, but there is, I'd say, a few more ties to the real world Club 100 format that we see in sprints. Shameless plug, if you missed the sprints from the weekend, go and check that out when you've got a moment. So what we're going to have is we're going to have the qualifying session in a few moments' time. Drivers are just out practicing at the moment around this fantastic Okayama circuit. And then we'll go into a timed qualifying session. That will determine the grids for a heat race. And the top 16 from that will go straight through to an A final. The lower half of the field from that heat race. So that heat race is going to have everybody. Yeah. Everybody's going to be on. It's going to be a chaos. Wonderful way to get there, because it is going to be chaos. It's going to be wonderful chaos. And then the top half go into that A final. The top 16, sorry, go into that. The remainder go into the B final. We then have the B final, and in a concept that, as I say, will be very familiar to anyone who follows the Club 100 Sprints Championship, the Senior Sprints Championship. In particular, will be familiar. The top 4 from that B final will be promoted, repechaged, as it were. I love that word. That's the word that's in the Club 100 regs. Will be repechaged onto the back of that A final grid, bringing that A final grid to 20 cars. Yeah. So that will be the format, and we're going to do that once here at Okayama, and then, as you say, mate, with a double header, we're going to do it again at Daytona Road. Was I supposed to reveal it, or have we already said?
It's in the title, I think.
It's in the title. Good point. So, and I have to say, it's difficult to think of 2 circuits with more sort of different characteristics in a way. But that is what we're going to do. So we're going to do that format twice over. So that means, folks, we're going to do 2 qualifying sessions, and we're going to do 6 races all told across the evening, 3 at each track. So it is a bumper evening of racing. What a way to get our championship started. And yeah, for the first time, new territory with that Toyota GT86 here at Akiyama, and new territory as well in terms of the fact that we are going to do 2 circuits in one night of the official championship. We've never done that before.
Nope.
So it's the same but different in the wonderful way that new motorsport seasons always are. But yeah, that's the format. So for the first time ever, we have got that promotion system going as well. So drivers will be really trying to get into that top 16 in that first race. And then in that B final, we'll be all gunning for that those top 4 positions to be promoted if they've missed out.
In theory, it is a format that rewards the calm and, I won't say cautious, but in control driver. But there are a lot of cars. A lot of cars. I think this is one of our biggest entries, if not the biggest entry for an official round we've ever had. We have had 42 entries for tonight. And this is where I apologise in advance if the graphics card melts. I tried, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully it doesn't die on us, but there we go. The checkered flag is out, though, Howard.
It is. We're about to go into qualifying. I was going to say, I will, because I am a commentator, promise to keep my eyes open as 42 cars pile into Williams' corner on lap 1. But those watching along may wish to close them, unless you're one of the competitors who have us on in the background, in which case, please don't close your eyes. Right, so
that will result in you getting a penalty. So, qualifying underway. For those new to the championship, this is a bit different to real life. So, each driver has 8 minutes to do 1 out lap and 2 flyers. Now, here's the key point. They're all driving in... If you're an Avengers fan, there's parallel universes going on right now in the iRacing, where each of our 42 drivers are all on track in their own bubble lobby, as it were. What does this mean? It means no slipstreaming, no complaining about traffic. You've all got to do it by yourself, getting the lap time purely out of you, the track, the car. I like it. I think it's a good system that gets us going on the night. The key thing for tonight, though, Howard, is it's still the same with off-track spins, etc. If you get a 1x or higher, your lap time gets deleted, and it's all one big grid for the heat or the first sprint race. Effectively, at this stage, folks, this is like a Formula 1 sprint weekend. It's Friday. It's a timed qualifying session, and where you sit on the timing and scoring at the end of this 8-minute session sets where you start the heat from. If you don't get a lap in, Howard, you're going to be 30th or something backwards, and getting in that top 16 is going to be a lot harder.
It certainly is. It certainly is. I thought it was appropriate that we'd kick it off with being on board with Mr. Steve Hicks. Mate, put as ever so much effort into getting us to this point.
Daddy
being
Hicks
on the
as
grid.
he is now.
Daddy Hicks as he is indeed. Let's have a lap then of this Okayama circuit. We're heading towards the aptly named first corner that he's going to throw it into now. Doesn't want to get too greedy. Yeah, you've got to be patient around this circuit with applying the power, I find. Through Williams, got to have a lot of commitment here on exit, but it's gravel on the runoff, so if you overcook it, you tend to be heading straight for the barrier. Then it's through the Moss S, just keeping it flat through there, and then picking your braking point just before that 50 board, I find, for Atwood Curve. Long corner, important to carry as much speed as you can onto the longest straight of the whole track, actually. It's longer than the start-finish straight here. And it'll all be a case once we get racing of being in slipstreams. Then it's just about picking your braking point correctly for this hairpin. We're getting into this quite technical, twisty section now. It's so important. It really is a circuit where I find you've got to have patience, you know, and know when to wait before applying the power. Through Revolver, and then opening up the entrance into Piper's Corner. You can see Steve using as much of that runoff to the right-hand side before turning in. Then it's picking your braking point for this left-hander at Redmond's. And again, patience to apply the power. And this is the one where it really can feel like an eternity. Hobbs Corner, this long corner, and then it's about running it as fast as we can through Mike Knight. And the really aptly named last corner as well, again about carrying as much pace without putting it into the gravel on the exit. That is a lap of the Okayama International Circuit. And how has Hicksy done? He's across the line and up to second place. P2 with a 1:44.357. Good opening lap.
Ross Deal takes provisional pole position. The driver who's competing in the BUKC this year for Reading University has been very, very good in the BUKC so far this year. We should mention, at the time of writing and speaking, no reigning champion. Josh Ladd has decided to move on. I say decided to move on. He's very busy with his Williams Esports commitments at the moment. There's a real feel that with Josh Ladd, who's won every single season so far of this competition, the Class 1 entry is wide open, and Ross Deal has been one of the quickest drivers so far this season. We'll be looking to get his, well, I say in the practices and the testing that we've had so far, he'll be looking for a good result tonight to get his season up and running.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of analogous, to keep linking it back to the Club 100 Senior Sprints. It's kind of like the heavyweights this year.
Yes.
The reigning champion's not here, and it leaves it wide open for everyone to battle over the spoils. So
on board with Kirith Kali-Rai. Apologies, Kirith. I don't know why your livery's not showing. I'm sure he's got a funky one on, but it's not on the car right now. But this is returning to the championship. It's been away for a while. It's been very busy on the YouTube channel. There's a number of drivers here following Kirith tonight. He's in Crystal Palace colours. He's not going to like that at all as a West Ham fan. But round the final corner, here comes Kirith. Has not set a lap time yet. What is he going to do here? This is all about setting Kirith's grid position for 26th. 26th on the grid in Class 2 for Kirith. Now, we should explain. You'll see our SDK timing tower on the left-hand side of your screen, and you'll see different colours for the positions and number boards. Now we'll start with the green one. The green one is for who we're on board with at the moment. So whoever that may be, right now it's Michael Preston. So that's how we know who we're following if you're just tuning in. Anyone with a red number board, that is a Class 1 driver. These are your experienced guys. These are your ones who've got really strong iRatings, have performed well in this championship in the past. They are the guys we would expect at the front of the field. Blues are Class 2s. These are your more, let's say, casual drivers, or drivers who've just joined iRacing and are getting up to speed but have shown a bit of pace. So see, Dan Gamblin is currently the fastest of the C2s. And for the first time tonight, you will also see black number boards. Now, our karting viewers will probably be tuned straight back in with this. Those are your Class 3s. Those are your complete novices. So we've set Class 3 up as something to get them up to speed and give them something to race for. So we'll see how that goes. Qualifying's pretty much coming to an end, though, Howard. It looks like Ross Deal and Jack Eyre are going to have the front row for the first race here at Okayama tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. We were just on board with Michael Preston for a little while then, but he'd already set his lap. This is Josh Mitchell coming around to. Is it his second time lap? I think it might be his second time lap. He's finishing the lap, which would be a good indication. So yeah, at the moment though, as you say, mate, looks like it's Ross Deal and Jack Eyre, our front row of the grid. As we've only got 20 seconds left of qualifying to go, and I think everyone who could affect the order has now completed all of their qualifying laps.
Right, we're going to have a job on here. We've got one of our biggest challenges of the year, which is once this qualifying session completes in 5 seconds, we're going to have the quickest grid readout I think we've ever done, because it will be a standing start. Thank you, guys. A standing start for these Okayama races. It's got me again. Sorry, folks. Here we go. So here's your grid. Ross Deal and Jack Eyre on row 1. Michael Preston and Michael Weddle on row 2. Sam Sanders and Tom Dix on row 3. Steve Hicks and Chris Hansen on row 4. So there was all Class 1 drivers. First of our Class 2 drivers, Dan Gamblin and Jessica Alexander, long-time viewers of BUKC and BPEC will know that name. Could be one of the favourites for Class 2. We'll remain to see how Jess does this evening. Chris Kirk and Alex Mitchell on row 6. Luke Tomlinson and Tim Penny on row 7. Murray Adams and Adam State on row 8. Jamie Jakins and Cameron Watson on row 9. Tom Edwards and Josh Mitchell on row 10. Matt Hale and Mike Hart on row 11. James Fremont and Nathan Maximin start on row 12. Lawrence Vines and Will Doyle on row 13. Craig Brown and Matthew Whitefoot on row 14. First of the Class 3s is Murray Scott, starting on row 15 alongside David Whitehouse. Alan Curtis and Kirith Kalirai on row 16. Two of our Class 3s on row 17 in the shape of Rodri Parry and Ian Sumner. Jay Elliott and Simon Delamere are there on row 18. And then we find Richard Sanders, Sam's dad, for those not aware, on row 19 alongside Rick Wong. Sam Dimelo and Michael Lithgow complete the 40 car field on this grid.
Oh, heck. Someone's just put in the lobby chat, they've just gone, yikes. I don't know if that was in reference to the size of the grid. But, I mean, it's brilliant. We should just reflect on that before we get underway here. It's brilliant to see how well supported the championship is coming into this one. So thank you, everybody, for supporting it. And, yeah, I think we can get underway, mate.
I think we can indeed. So it's a standing start. The lights will come on, and then it'll be away for this short heat race. Here we go then for the start of the 2023 Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship here in the Toyota GT86s. Round Okayama, away we go. Good start for Ross Steele at the front of the order, but Jack Ayres had a really good start in the Rethink Racing car there. Will have the inside for turn 1. He's got the move done before turn 1. Brilliant start for one of the series newcomers from BPEC. They're all filing through the first couple of corners, looking clean so far. It's all about being in the top 16. It's no good throwing it up the inside, Howard Mitchell, for a big move on lap 1 and costing yourself good track position, because this is all about qualifying for the A final.
Absolutely, it's important that the drivers play the long game, as it were, with this one. 10 laps that we've got in this heat race as they come onto this long back straight. First opportunity for these drivers to be slipstreaming a bit. We've got one driver off, Andrew. That's Rick Wong, who's gone off there. Yeah,
the Birmingham BUKC driver in the HKS car there in trouble as Ross Steele looks down the inside there of Jack Ayres for the lead of the race. The pole sitter retakes P1. Really good stuff there from Ross Steele in the 79.
Yeah, bold move into the hairpin, and now we go through this section, Andrew, where it's so difficult to put in a pass through this section. It's really about, as I say, it's the technical part of the lap. It's about optimising your line to give yourself the best run, I find, onto the start, finish straight. Potentially an opportunity through Redmonds that they've just gone through, but by and large it's about following through this section.
Good start.
And, getting yourself up the order at the start finish, sorry mate.
Good start for Michael Weddle as well, another one of our BPEC drivers from the Pro Kart scene. It's just ahead of Sam Sanders at the moment, who, based on previous season's form, was an early championship leader in 2022, but already we're seeing the gamesmanship begin. The slipstream can be quite big in this Toyota GT86. Ross Steele just moving defensively to the side before retaking the racing line. He'll be happy though with that first lap.
Yep, absolutely. He obviously lost that first place briefly, but was able to take it back in calm fashion as Jack pushes the limits of the exit of Williams Corner. I have to say, I don't like. I was racing racing GT3s around here the other day, and I didn't take that bold an approach to the gravel on the exit of that corner. Well, that's probably why I was so slow. Yeah, you can see already Ross Steele moving to try and offset the effect of the draft.
So remember, it's top 16 that qualify automatically
Look
through
at
to the A final. Everybody else goes in the B. Oh no, why I'm scared now that we're looking at this region of the field. This is all outside the top 16 at the moment. 3 wide. I think Matt Hale and Lawrence Vines are in there, and Craig Brown as well. And so far, they're all being quite well behaved. I think. Yeah. I think the firm words from the Scotsman in the admin team off practice race a couple of nights ago. they've worked, Murray. If you're watching this back, your words of wisdom have calmed them all down.
Indeed, actually, yeah. Hats off to the drivers. I am mightily impressed by how, considering how many cars are on track right now. This is brilliant stuff to see. As third place between Michael Weddle and Sam Sanders is pretty tasty.
It's looking a little bit further back, top in C2 at the moment. Good battle going on between Jess Alexander and Dan Gamblin. Where is who's outside that top 16 at the moment? There will be opportunities for them to race through later on in the programme. Murray Adams at the moment is inside. Here we're looking at Craig Brown in the JPS livery, outside in 20th position, looking down the inside of William Doyle there. Nice move.
Yep. In fact, who's that goes? Was that...
hang on. I think that might have been Richard Sanders a lap down.
Yep. Yep, I agree.
Good stuff going on at the moment. Tom Dix and back with Ross Steele at the front of the order. Some good race going on here. Sam Sanders looking down the inside of Michael Weddle for third place. Is now on the outside. Oh, just dips a rear right wheel in the grass there. Well held by Sam Sanders.
Yeah, Steve Hicks trying to stay in touch with this group of four at the front. As you say, Andrew, come back a little way. Jess Alexander here in the 113, leading Class 2 at the moment. In the wheel tracks are Tom Dix, but Dan Gamblin, who got the class pole, right on her tail.
And this is the thing with this format, in terms of trying to have a good, solid first race. Our league, again, we want it to be a building block ground for new drivers, especially who are coming into iRacing. And just as I say that, there's a couple of spins there. The 399 is facing in the wrong direction. That, unfortunately, is Murray Scott. And and that's a bit clumsy there with the number 77. That's a real shame for Murray Scott there. I've just seen that Michael Preston's very out of position at the moment.
Yeah.
So
he's the lowest placed Class 1 driver.
Yeah, something happened to Michael Preston then. So this is the thing now. If you don't have a good time in this heat race, you don't get through to the A final, you don't get in that top 16, you then got to race through the B final, where there are 4 repechage spots, but 4 and 4 only.
I'm going to have to define wider camera angles for this series. Can't get everyone in shot. This man right here, Josh Mitchell, is currently in the pound seat, the last of the pound seats for promotion, in 16th place. You can see he's got a little bit of breathing space behind him, emphasis on little. It's not too much back to Jamie Jenkins, but at the moment he is sat in that final golden ticket spot. As ahead of him it goes side by side between Luke Tomlinson and Murray Adams. Luke through at Redmond.
But to come back to the point I was saying earlier when we were looking at a couple of the other drivers, if you're in this top 16 at the moment, because it is very, very close behind, you don't go for a 50-50 move in this scenario, because the gain versus risk is very, very much against the gain, because if you get it wrong and you have a spin and you have a loss, you're not going to be losing 2 or 3 positions, you're going to be losing 13, 14 positions, and you're going to be outside and have to go through that B final.
I mean, I agree with what you just said. I'm not sure everyone's got that memo, but yes. This is a great battle going on here between Christopher Kirk and Adam State. Got side by side. Did I say you follow through most of the last sector before? They didn't. They don't agree with me. They were going side by side through the penultimate corner. So, and that's not the best entrance onto the back straight for Christopher Kirk. That's surely going to be side by side between the two of them. No, he cuts across to take a defensive position. This is brilliant stuff, isn't it?
I'm enjoying this a lot at the moment. There's racing everywhere you look, and it's all looking pretty good at the moment. There's a little bit of contact there between Adam State and Christopher Kirk, as it's nearly 3 wide, involving Josh Mitchell, Murray Adams, Luke Tomlinson. They're all good known drivers to each other. The pro karters are at it here in the Club 100 BUKC iRacing Championship, as I think that's Nathan Maximin in the background. Is that Nathan Maximin? It is. The number 31, the distinctive orange and black, was outside the top 16. Needs to be careful with this. Just about gets back onto circuit, but Nathan Maximin, who was clearly pushing hard to try and get up to the top 16, is now going to be in the B final.
Yeah, battle coming right onto his tail. Sorry, Andrew. Michael Lithgow here battling away with Rodri Parry. I really thought they were both going to suddenly go, oh, this car's moving a lot slower. But yeah, disappointment there for Nathan. Very rapid driver. You and I have raced with him, had him as a teammate in iRacing special events, 24 hours at Daytona. Yeah, disappointment for him there. He'll be one to watch in the B final.
And no reverse grids. The reverse grids of previous years are gone. He's got to keep running, because if you're outside the top 16, your finishing position in this race sets where you start the B final, i.e. if you want to get into that top 4, those 4 repechage spots, you need to be starting as high up the order as possible. No saving grace of a reverse grid to put you at the front.
Absolutely. Oh, as we go. This is side-by-side action here between still going on. Oh, Alex Mitchell.
Alex Mitchell off. Alex Mitchell has had something go wrong in the duck car. What are we calling that? But now that's him outside the top 16. That's who's fallen down to 18th.
Yeah, I thought I heard something going bang. I think he was helped into that. Yeah, again, disappointing for Alex. Can he recover that? He's fallen a good 3 or 4 seconds off the back of now 16th place Jamie Jenkins.
Let us know in the chat. Are you enjoying this format? Because I am here in the box. Let's have a look at the Ally car here. This is Sam Dimolo.
Just got by on Matt Hale there.
Yep. And I think just behind him as well is Rodri Parry, one of our Class 3s. Who's top running Class 3 at the moment, Howdy? It's Michael Lithgow I just saw there.
It is indeed, yeah. Who I think we joined having it off. Oh, no, we don't. Sorry, that was James Fremont ahead of him, I think, having that. So, yeah, Michael Lithgow currently your highest placed Class 3 driver. As there's side-by-side ahead of him between a recovering Nathan Maximin and James Fremont in that Rothmans car. I'll be honest, I am loving this, but at the same time, from a directorial point of view, this is a nightmare to follow. It's brilliant.
It's round 1, everybody. Give us a break. I don't think I've seen this much chaos involving a Toyota GT86 since Luke Austin in his GT86 drifting around a frosty Wilton Mill before a BUKC qualifier, you know, to try and warm up the track a bit. That's a bit of a moment there for 256 and Christopher Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk versus Adams here. Murray Adams just got his nose ahead at the moment. It's opportunity for Josh Mitchell, though. He's going to try and follow through on the inside as well, and does so. So that's 2 positions lost there for Christopher Kirk.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to do that.
Oh, who's that off? Who's that off to in the Martini car?
I think that might be... It's Simon Delamere, Andrew. It's a lap down. But even so, he needs to be... He's hit the wall. Maybe he's just getting out of people's way.
He's just getting out of people. That's good driving away from Simon.
Yeah, good courteous driving there. And well, he might. There's a battle coming through on him here. This is Mike Hart leading Cameron Watson for 21st place at the moment.
I'll tell you what, there's some big names that aren't going to make the top 16 here.
I was just thinking this. Yeah, some of the established drivers in this championship, Andrew, are really having to work for it, as I just heard. I just heard tyres squealing. Oh, yes, there's Delamere, who's gone round.
Kirith Kalirai just behind Mike Hart as well. I'm really sorry, Kirith. I don't know why this happens with your cars. trading paints doesn't work. Sam Sanders looking down the inside now. This is for second place on Jack Eyre, and the University of East Anglia driver has got through.
Yeah, nice, neat move there. There's more moves going on into the hairpin off the back straight. Andrew, this is Josh Mitchell down the inside of Murray Adams. A lap on from them both getting by on Christopher Kirk. And the driver of the 54 is through and up into 12th place. This is a driver who, when we first picked him up, was on the cusp. He was in 16th place. He's worked his way up tidily here, Andrew, being patient and keeping it pretty clean. Yeah, it's been a really good drive from Josh. I've not seen Josh race for a few years. It's great to have him here in the Club 100 BUKC iRacing Championship. And of course, these positions that Josh is gaining will get translated into starting positions for the A final. That's the other thing when you get in that top 16. The higher up the top 16 you are, the better chance you've got of gaining really big points when we get to that A final later on. And of course, we've got 2 of those A finals tonight, because we'll be doing this format again round Daytona later on in the evening. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Do drop us a like if you wouldn't mind. Really does help us out. If you've not subscribed already, please consider doing so. Now here's an interesting fight, Howard. I think this is all around the top, getting that final couple of spots into the A. It is. So of this pack of 4, the top 2 are in the promotion, are in the A final qualifying spots. The latter 2 are not. So this is William Doyle and Luke Tomlinson. Let's try that again. Sorry. Jamie Jenkins and Luke Tomlinson are in 15th and 16th, the front 2 cars, and then William Doyle and Alex Mitchell are close behind.
Very close indeed, and it's still potentially kicking off ahead of them as well. There's only this lap plus 1 more to go.
Oh no, that was interesting, Andrew. For me, that was Lawrence Vines there. Oh, excuse me. Slight issue for me on timing there. William Doyle backed out. Oh, stationary car.
Yeah, I think that's another one of our cars that's a lap down.
Yeah.
Just a quick reminder, because good evening, Loopy. All the same car. The colours are for the driver class. So the reds are the C1s, the pros, the aliens, the Euro bandits. The blues are the class 2s, the casuals. Tend to be around 1500, 1600 I rating. And then the black number boards are the novices, the class 3s. But in terms of equipment that they've got, fixed setups in this series, very much like Club 100 itself, all the same machinery. It's all down to the driver to extract the performance from, in this case, these Toyota Gazoo Racing 86s. Here we've got an interesting battle. This is Tom Dix, Steve Hicks, Jess Alexander. I think Dan Gamblin's not too far behind this as well. This has been a very good performance though from Jess Alexander on debut. Not a massive surprise if you ask me, because we've seen Jess race for many years. We know how quick she is. We know that those talents do translate over into sim. It's very good to see both Jess and Dan as class 2s really giving some of the established class 1s a run for their money.
Absolutely. This is your provisional pole sitter for the B final at the moment, which is a very polite way of saying someone who's just on the brink of qualifying at the moment is William Doyle.
Yep. Got to keep calm in this scenario. So if you can't get top 16, 17th is not a bad spot, because it'll give you pole position for the B final. Meanwhile, though, Ross Deal is going to come round the final corner, we would presume, to be the first race winner of the year in the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Ross Deal takes the heat race, takes the qualifying race through, and a good haul of points for that as well. That will count for championship. Sam Sanders P2, Jack Eyre P3. All of these drivers are getting through. Michael Weddle 4th, Tom Dix 5th, Steve Hicks, Jess Alexander, Dan Gamblin, they're all through. Tim Penny on iRacing Championship debut is going to go through as well. Adam State, Chris Hansen, Josh Mitchell, Murray Adams, Christopher Kirk, Jamie Jenkins and Luke Tomlinson. That is your top 16. They can put their feet up for a bit whilst the B final goes on. They are through to the A final, Howard.
Yeah, absolutely. As we've observed mid-race, Andrew, some of the names who haven't made it are almost as much of interest to me here. We are in for an interesting B final, make no mistake.
So
as
there we go.
some of the last drivers come through to finish. Here's Matt Hale crossing the line.
Oh, he's been on the left way again. My goodness me.
Oof. Oh, dearie me. But, do you know what? I'm going to say this right away, Andrew. Considering the number of cars, I'm sure there are some people out there licking their wounds, but considering the number of cars, I am really impressed with this field.
Yeah, really good. Really good. You can see the drivers have heeded the notes in the briefing. There we go. And there's still more coming over the line.
There's still more, yeah.
I've put the music on too early. All these drivers will race again in the B final. Here's a thing with it being a double header tonight. If you don't quite make it into the A final, you can always go and get a bit of extra practice, can't you? In the Daytona lobby, which is already live. I'm going to press that. I'm still getting used to my Stream Deck. Right, straight into the B final then, Howard. Is the oh, there's the Heat 1 result.
Yeah, I'm going to have to flick through that quite quickly, but there it is.
Yep. So all these drivers on your screen at the moment, we'll see them very shortly for the B final, and it's top 4 that go through. And we can see that grid forming up now once again here at Okayama. Does the grid graphic work? I know we've not trialled this, ladies and gentlemen. It's very unprofessional from us. Yes, it does. Look at that. Will Doyle and Alex Mitchell start on the front row. Lawrence Vines and Matthew Whitefoot on row 2. We say this when there's a B final in the Club 100 sprints. If it's a really boring race, those top 4, we'll see them again in the A final, trying to stop them as we've got the B final underway. Apologies. So top 4 to go through. You can see Sam Dimolo already making a move in the Ally car a little bit far back, but it's a clean start as they roll into turn 1 for the second time tonight. William Doyle leading from Alex Mitchell. Alex had some really good results in 2022 in this series. We'll be looking for more strong results. Looks like everybody's made it through the first couple of corners, Howard.
Yeah, we've got a few issues. I think Richard Sanders had some issues getting off of the grid, but by and large, I think that's been relatively clean, Andrew.
Very good indeed. Matthew Whitefoot's lost a couple of positions off the start. He's down into 6th place. Down the back straight they come. Doyle leading from Mitchell, Vines. Mike Hart's had a good start. I expect Mike Hart to be in the A final. A little bit of a look there. And for those perhaps not au fait with this kind of promotion repechage race, Howard, from other, oh dear, as there's quite a mess at the back. That's Tom Edwards in a bit of trouble in the 58.
There's several cars involved there, Andrew.
Yeah, I think Simon Delamere is in trouble as well,
including Michael Preston.
Right.
Very unusual, this.
And Michael Preston not running a full campaign this year, has got a lot of work to do now, and at this point, yes, that kind of move, you've just got to get on with it now to try and get up into that top 4, but he's 14 seconds behind, Howard.
Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be a real challenge for him if he's going to, as I think that was Ian Sumner having a bit of a moment through the last few corners. But yeah, he has definitely he's got his work cut out, we'll put it that way. So Kieran Calirigo side by side. But yes, sorry, Andrew. Yes, tactics in this form of race. It is about not going all in necessarily. It's about playing it patiently. If you're in that top 4, if you're William Doyle and you're Alex Mitchell right now, you don't really want to battle. You really want to work together, as is normal for someone going down the inside of another into a corner. And that's exactly why you don't want to do it, because if you're pushing that hard, you can have a moment like that where you almost go into a spin, you have to catch it. And now Alex Mitchell is fighting for those promotion spots. He's down to 5th and he's going to be compromised all the way down this long straight.
And look at the swarm of cars flowing in behind, all trying to nab positions off of Alex Mitchell. Now this is all going to get a little bit tight as they go through the hairpin. Nathan Maximan's had a good comeback here. He's just outside that top 4 at the moment in the number 31, the white, the orange and black car. Just got Cameron Watson ahead as well. Roger Parry's had a good start, I could see. He's just jumped out on my screen because he's our top novice driver in this race at the moment in P12.
I think the way to think of it, Andrew, is everyone wants to win, but depending on how you define win, there are actually 4 winners here.
Yes.
That's the thing to bear in mind. And, you know, sprint racing tactics would say it's good to work together if you're in that top 4. William Doyle's got exactly what he wants now. He's managed to break away.
Yep.
Oh, there's a twitchy moment there. Was that Lawrence Vines? No, it was not.
Is it Cameron Watson?
It's Cameron Watson, yes, I believe so. Battling away with
Alex Mitchell.
Indeed, and Matthew Whitefield as well as close by. But yeah, you want to work together if it's all possible. As David Whitehouse is down the inside. On, I think that. Oh,
no!
Around.
Oh. I think David's just been caught out there by the rear axle nature of this Toyota GT86. It does like to pendulum on you a while, and I think that contact. I thought he'd caught it all up, and just as he got on the power, the back axle stepped out and round he went.
Yeah, that. I do feel like that first corner could be very deceptive for me, Andrew. As I said, it's almost the very first thing about this. You've got to be patient about putting the power down out of some of these corners. This is not one of those. This is not a tarmac runoff fest of a circuit. Put it that way. It's Alex Mitchell pushing hard to try and get back into that top 4 where he was at the start of the way. He'll be frustrated at the moment. But he's got to try and pick himself back up and get onto terms with Lawrence Vines ahead, who is now the car ahead because Nathan Maximan has managed to get himself into 3rd.
This is good. This is good so far for the new format. This is what we want to see. A close battle to try and get into the top 4. There's Ian Sumner in the 388. And that's Michael Preston just ahead. So what is the rate of progress for Preston like? Well, he is closing in on the leaders, so I don't think it's completely done yet. Still got a lot of work to do down the inside there. The 343 of Alan Curtis looking for a move on Kirith Kali-Rai. And yeah, Alan Curtis getting through there.
I thought Kirith was going to struggle being put out wide there in turn 1, but managed to gather it quite nicely actually.
If you join the stream, do let us know who you're supporting, if there's anyone in particular. Meanwhile, front of the order, look at this. Yeah. William Doyle now under attack from Mike Hart and Nathan Maximan. This is high risk, but could be high reward for Nathan Maximan. Has got it down the inside. Got to get the braking right. Be sensible here, chaps. This is a place in the A final at stake. That's good racing. Nathan Maximan through. 2 positions in 1 corner.
Yeah, that was brilliant stuff. However, what it's doing, Andrew, is it's holding up all of them. And look at how Alex Mitchell has caught up to this. And indeed, he's got past Lawrence Vines, is a development that we missed as well. So the top 4 has changed. And suddenly, what I'm intrigued to know how they caught up to William Doyle, Andrew, because Doyle had a pretty comfortable lead. And now, all of a sudden, it feels to me like the top 7, 8 are all in this train. Vying for the victory. I
wonder if it's the slipstream effect again. And oh, by the way, did I mention that we're at Daytona later on, folks? Imagine the slipstream with this kind of racing later on tonight. I don't think anyone's going to be able to break away when we go there. If here's anything to go by, here is a key battle. William Doyle and Alex Mitchell trying to work together. They're just behind in the green and red car. Lawrence Vines, can he find a way to get back up to this group of 4? Mike Hart's wide. He's wide. He's going to be under threat there from Doyle. They're going to be side by side again. Good opportunity for Nathan Maximan to break away.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, Andrew, I was going to go 3 wide here into the long right-hander of Atwoods. for me, Andrew, they needed to give each other. I know that you can sometimes feel held up by another driver.
Here comes Vines.
Yeah, here he comes. For me, they needed to maybe just give it one sector to see if they could work together, because at the very start of the lap, they did have a little bit of a gap developing over Vines, and now it's just eroded, and Maximin's away at the front. Here we go then.
This is brilliant racing.
As well. Cameron Watson is on the inside. Matthew Whitefoot trying to buy into it in the distinctive yellow and purple livery. Goodness me, and there's touch on Lawrence Vines. On Lawrence Vines, and that was a big moment for him there. What it's done is it's given yet another lifeline to the top four. And for me, Andrew, right, declare if you're Mike Hart, Alex Mitchell, and William Doyle, declare a ceasefire and just
get up the road. Get up the road. If you can, because the thing I'm also looking at on the live timing, you just about see him in the background. He's still got a lot of work to do, But Michael Preston on the race leader is closing in. It's now 10.3 seconds. He just, as I say, needs to get into 4th place or higher to keep this part of his evening going.
And that little battle we just saw between Whitefoot and Watson is actually good for Lawrence Vines, because it allows him to focus. And chasing down the top four ahead of him is Matt Hale. Is going to make it 3 wide almost into turn 1 here. Whitefoot will have the inside line, but he'll be slower on exit. There'll be the switchback for Hale, but can he do anything into Williams as Cameron Watson is going to swoop down the inside of Williams? This is a brilliant battle, but it is rather condemning them to end their Okayama racing with the B final for these drivers. Sam Dimolo at the back of this 4 as well.
I say that this has been a really good performance from Sam Dimolo so far. Joined the championship about halfway through last year.
Tom Edwards now here is actually, he won't thank me for saying it, but he's, on my screen at least, Andrew, missing a lot of the front of his car.
Yes, there's bits of crash structure that I wasn't expecting to see tonight.
He's the lowest placed of the Class 1s, and I think we've solved the mystery as to why.
Oh, I can hear crashing going on ahead.
Yeah. Oh, James Fremont's off.
And I think Michael Preston was involved as well.
I agree.
Yeah, not been the night that Michael Preston would have expected so far. Hey, this is the thing. Hello, Hixie. Drivers in the chat. Whilst I sat there, just waiting for the A final, casually. As Michael Preston goes past Kirith Kali-Rai there. I think the laps are running out now for the driver who finished in 2nd in the championship last year.
Nathan Maximin controlling this one well at the front. It's Maximin, Hart, Mitchell and Doyle, your provisional promotees at the moment, and I think Lawrence Vines is struggling to stay on terms with them, Andrew. Indeed, if anything, I'd say Cameron Watson's reeling him in somewhat. Now that there's less battling in this 6th through 9th battle, they are starting to catch up. Nonetheless, this is actually the closest. Suddenly, Andrew, it's spread out a little bit. This is actually the closest battle on track right now, which is, to be fair, understandable, because right now they're side by side. Here they are down the back straight. Sam Dimolo in the Ally car, Matt Hale in the Club 100 livery, and Matthew Whitefoot in the yellow and purple. Are we going to go 3 wide again into the hairpin? We're not quite, but Whitefoot is going to go down the inside of Dimolo. Dimolo will have the inside line for Revolver if he can stay in there, but that's a difficult corner to hang on to the inside. Can he hang on through the 2nd left-hander? No, he can't. Nice. Oh, but Whitefoot's wide and he's clipped the wall.
Into the wall, and just needs to be careful, get on the brakes there to not roll back too far. That's a shame for Matthew Whitefoot. It will be an end to any hopes he had of making it into the A final. I say there's more drivers coming into the chat. I'm quite enjoying the breather between heat and final, says Sam Sanders. Speak for yourself, mate. We're not getting any breathers here in the comms box, not for this part of the evening.
The A final will be car audio only. We'll go
yes,
we're
putting our feet up. So we're looking back here. This is on the rear bumper of Nathan Maximin, and we've got 3 laps to go, including the one that we're on. Mike Hart in 2nd place. Alex Mitchell and William Doyle. And it very much is this case now of just bring it home, chaps. Don't do anything silly. Don't unnecessarily battle and potentially spin out, because there's much bigger rewards available in the A final. Move being done there. Tom Edwards on Murray Scott.
Well, I mean, you will go by if you've done that level of weight saving.
I don't think that's going to pass post-race scrutineering.
It's
not going to hit the minimum weight.
Questionable, isn't it? Look back here on the... That is not showroom fresh.
No. Hello to Jack Renegade Air, who's sat in my VR headset and wishes he could scrub back through the stream. You will be able to later on. If you're just joining us here on the broadcast, you'll be able to watch all of tonight's racing back here on the DDMM YouTube channel once it's rendered at the end of the evening. Enjoying the show so far, do give it a thumbs up, press that like button, and if you don't mind giving us a subscribe as well. It's all trouble for Kirith, Cali Rye. It's had a spin and has fallen down to 17th place.
Yeah, and it's on the exit of that Piper's Corner again, Andrew, where we saw Matthew Whitefoot have I mean, it's unforgiving, isn't it? There's very little runoff before you hit the wall, and the temptation is to plant your foot and get on the power as early as you can. That exactly goes back to my point about this track. It is, bizarrely for a racetrack, it is about patience around here. I don't want to read too much into it. We only picked up the end of the incident, but we've seen a fair few drivers have issues through that corner.
Yeah, it's a tricky one indeed. Here's Ian Sumner, 13th place for Ian Sumner at the moment. The active weight-saving Tom Edwards behind. Thank you guys for the comments on the stream. Continue. Oh my goodness me, Matthew Whitefoot, what has happened there?
Okay.
Moving on.
I think it's fair to say he was pushing hard.
I know. I know Matt's had some internet troubles in the past on iRacing, but I think that was something completely different. Yes, the stream. Continual improvements still to be made, but we're getting there.
Right, this is the closest battle on the track then. Is Tom Edwards' recovery drive from whatever caused him to lose a significant portion of styling. Taking the using all run off there, and so too is Murray Scott behind him, who do very well to collect that one up and keep going. I think he's lost it. This just seems to be, this is the subclass for people who want to get rid of bits of their Toyotas. There's a moment for Rodri Parry there, and he loses out to both Ian Sumner and Tom Edwards. Goodness me. Well, here you go, GT86 owners. Turns out if you remove the front bumper and the bonnet, you can have quite a bit of pace.
You won't pass homologation though. Anyway, last lap of the race. Top four look pretty set. Maximin, Hart, Mitchell and Doyle have done the business so far. You just need to bring it home now.
But what order will they be in?
I think we're just going past Wong there. He's a lap down.
That's very true.
William Doyle, I would say, though, hasn't quite... Oh, this is a nervy one. He's, what's that, 9/10 ahead of Cameron Watson, which on any other lap you'd think, yeah, fine, we'll cross the line. But the psychological games start to play. So many corners where you can make a mistake around this Okayama circuit. So close to getting through into that A final, yet so far. Just a couple of corners to go for Doyle. Cameron Watson was just blinking there. Don't worry about that. That was just a slight internet trouble. He's absolutely fine. This will have been a pressure-filled race for William Doyle because he started on the front row, would have been expecting to get through to the top four. Nathan Maximin's going to get through in the top four. Good recovery after a difficult qualifying heat race. Through into the A final goes Maximin and Hart and Mitchell. and it will be William Doyle who takes the 4th and final repechage spot and join the back of the A final grid. Racing here at Okayama for now ends for Cameron Watson in 5th, Lawrence Vines in 6th, Matt Hale 7th, Michael Preston finishes in 8th. Know what might have been had there not been those two issues and incidents for Michael Preston. We'll be back for Daytona later on this evening though. Sam Dimolo 9th, Alan Curtis 10th, Michael Lithgow top C3 home there in 11th, and the rest of the field going down. I quite enjoyed that, Howard. That was a proper B final.
I agree. That had everything. That had good passes. That had missing bodywork. That had cars not on their wheels. It had everything there, and a few things I wasn't expecting as well. So yeah, but no, really well done to the top 4 there. And well, we were saying about us not getting a break. They don't get a break because we are already gridding up for our A final.
We are indeed, and let's just bring the views back here at Okayama. So this is the last race of the evening at Okayama. Here's your grid. Ross Deal on pole position, Sam Sanders P2, Jack Eyre and Michael Weddle on the 2nd row of the grid. Tom Dixon, Steve Hicks go from row 3, Jess Alexander and Dan Gamblin on row 4, Tim Penny and Adam State on row 5, Chris Hansen and Josh Mitchell on row 6. And then we find Tim Penny and Adam State on the next row. So I've already read that one out, haven't I? Murray Adams and Christopher Kirk on row 7. Gemma Jenkins and Luke Tomlinson on row 8. Those were your automatic qualifiers through to the A final. They're joined by Nathan Maximum and Mike Hart, and Alex Mitchell and Will Doyle from the B final.
Interesting to see the Class 1 drivers with perhaps a bit more experience and level-headedness getting through that promotion as we're away, Andrew.
We are indeed for the 3rd of the races at Okayama. Great start once again for Jack Eyre. Gets up on the left-hand side. Is going to try and go around the outside this time into turn 1 to take the lead. Side by side with Ross Deal off of the first corner. Good start once again for the drivers who've been on the front row. Big send from Ross Deal round the outside. Is that going to work? Yes, it is. He takes the lead.
Yeah, really well fended off from Ross Deal there. Jack Eyre has really got the starts down with these cars, hasn't he? But Michael Weddle has been able to get by him for 2nd place, and indeed now Sam Sanders is through the inside, and they're going to go 3 wide here on the exit onto the back straight, Andrew, and that is Sam Sanders up into 1st place. But taking that tighter line, has he carried enough pace onto the back straight?
Yeah, it's pretty much Noah's Ark 2x2 formation as they head down the back straight. Sam Sanders on the inside. Can he get the braking right to take the lead of the race? Ross Deal's looking to the outside once again. Brilliant racing here on the first lap. Jess Alexander's up to 5th place there in the red and white red graphics car. What a start here to the A final.
Yeah, this is brilliant racing here between these A finalists, and it is Sam Sanders who's got to the head, but Tim Penny's round.
Yeah, Tim Penny in the Nomad car is round. That's a real shame for Tim. Oh, it's into the wall there. Was one of the Rethink Racing cars. It's Luke Tomlinson. So Luke Tomlinson is out of this race. He'll get points for 20th place, though.
He will indeed. So we come back to the lead battle. Ross Deal on the outside of Sam Sanders. That's surely not going to work. But the shallower line for Sam Sanders may mean he's a bit compromised onto the start-finish straight as they finish lap number 1. Look at this, them going straight to the inside here. A splay. There is no racing line on the start-finish straight here at Okayama.
There isn't at all. Jess Alexander looking for a move up the inside there on Michael Weddle and Jake Eyre, who are now side by side coming off of turn number 1. This is a brilliant race. I'm already liking this format a lot here in the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Ross Deal right into the rear bumper of Sam Sanders there. Now, do they work together, Howard, at this stage of the race? Classic sprint racing tactics, try and push off the front?
Well, you would have thought so. Sam Sanders taking a slightly tighter line there suggests he hasn't fully got the memo. The top 9, Andrew, separated by 1.5 seconds at the moment. This is fantastic stuff. Excuse me, Dan Gamblin falling off by a whole 0.4 of a second. Begging my
he's
everyone's
just not pushing hard enough, is he?
Indeed. Sam Sanders this time defending into the hairpin rather than attacking, as we've seen him do quite a few times already this evening. This is brilliant. stuff.
Onto the little back straight then. Jess Alexander defending to the inside there. I think that's on Adam State and Tom Dixon there also. Looking forward from Dan Gamblin's viewpoint. Steve
A lot of
Hicks.
Opportunity in view, isn't there?
Yes.
Oh,
round goes Jess Alexander.
Oh, that's disappointing for her, Andrew, obviously. but I don't know if she was helped into it, or if it was just getting the power down out of that corner. She dropped down to 17th place.
Yeah, couldn't quite see on first view. Got a little replay monitor in the booth here. See if we can see anything. Nope, the roll cage of Dan Gamblin's car is in the way. Have to review that one later. Here is rear bumper cam of Sam Sanders, and there is the inside of Ross Steele's car. He's pushing Sam Sanders along. I think they are.
Okay, that is
together.
Working together. Yeah, yep. Agreed. And that's the right thing to be doing, I think, Andrew. Jack Eyre and Michael Weddle will be wise to it as well.
Sam Sanders is wide though. It's very easy to do as you come up the hill, and Ross Steele is going to have probably one of the more easy overtakes that he's had in his sim racing career down the inside. He's got to get the braking right done right though.
He's already done it.
Well, yeah, he's already through and back onto the racing line.
Yeah, indeed. So Ross Steele to the front. This breakaway group of 4. It was the top 9, but the battle for 5th place has seen these cars drop back somewhat. Currently, that battle being led by Tom Dix here. Worth noting, Andrew, Nathan Maximin, one of the promotees, up to 10th place already here.
Yeah, this has been the speed that we know that Nathan has. Very adaptable driver. Still does a lot of racing on other sims as well, and I do think that's an important skill to have in this series, because we do have a variety of cars, variety of different types of cars as well, not just saloon sports like we've got here. We've got some single seaters, some GTs later in the year. Nathan Maximin is a driver who started out on Gran Turismo Sport. There's a lot of GT7 as well, but also, you know, as I was talking to him, he does a lot of Assetto Corsa. I just wonder if that's a skill set that he can use this season to have a strong run through the points by being able to get on top of cars quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Adaptability is definitely a key skill in this championship. Interesting with this pack, Andrew, battling over 5th. Do they already feel like they've got their work cut out getting on up the road to challenge the top 4? Or does one of them think that they've got the pace that's needed and that they just need to get past all of these meddling other drivers? As a little look maybe from Sam Sanders, or Ross Steele feeling the need just to cover the inside on this lap going to the hairpin. As that's Chris Hansen down the inside. Is it, or trying on Dan Gamblin, but Gamblin's back again. That was brilliant stuff by Dan Gamblin to hang on to that one, as highest placed of the Class 2 drivers at this stage, and behind them Mike Hart and Nathan Maximin going side by side through Pipers. That's a wide moment for Dan Gamblin. He might struggle now to keep Chris Hansen at bay. Indeed, Hansen is down and through, whilst behind him Mike Hart holds on to position versus Maximin.
Well, Chris Hansen, who was the C2 champion a few years ago, is now a C1 driver, virtue of having gone and won the C2 title. He's not in the gold anymore because he's not a reigning C2 champion. He's in one of the very nice liveries that Murray Adams has put together.
Yes, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Big fan of that livery, liking it.
So we're halfway through this A final, or should we call it a pre-A final? Because we've still got another A final race later on this evening.
I don't know. It feels. It's weird calling it a pre-final when we're going somewhere else afterwards. It feels disingenuous somehow. But I get what you mean, mate. I get what you mean. It is like a pre-A.
Looking back from Tom Dix now. Adam State in 6th place, having a good early run here in 2023's championship, heading down towards the hairpin. Is it simply known as the hairpin?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Nathan Maximan having a go at Mike Hart. Mike Hart gives him just enough racing room there through the corner and on exit and on the approach to Revolver.
Good run through Pipers there though for Maximan. Surely he's going to be down the inside. He is. He just needs to hang Hart out to dry enough on exit to make sure that he hasn't got any means of counter-attack coming back through Hobbs, which is the tight corner they've just been through. Then this is Mike Knight. The well-named last corner. They weren't messing about at Okayama when naming the first and last corners.
Indeed. So we're on to lap number 6 now. Fastest lap of the race has just gone in from Sam Sanders at 1:43.8. There's William Doyle, who we saw race through from the B final, fighting with another one of the promoted drivers in the shape of Alex Mitchell. Quick dab on the brakes there to go through Williams. Change of car for the next set of races as well.
Yes, we haven't even covered it, yeah.
The MX-5 Cup car makes its first appearance of the season. Of course, that's the very first car that we used in this championship, which was born out of having no racing to do as a Club 100 community back during 2020. We mentioned it at the top of the programme. It was around this very circuit, Okayama, as a free content track, that we held that first event. And you can still get involved as well if you're watching this at home or wherever you're tuning in from, and the Club 100 or BUKC driver past or present. So even if you raced in BUKC 15 years ago and you're on iRacing, you can get involved. Entries are still open for the whole season. A bumper list of events that we've got in store as well. Do check out the promo video that we've put up. That's got the calendar on it for the 11 round championship. Oh, a bit of a moment there, Howard, for Tom Dix, and Adam State's going to be on him there.
Yeah, I don't think State is going to need a second time of asking there. That was a nasty twitch for Tom Dix through that final corner, and surely down the inside, although I still maintain this first corner, Andrew, is slightly deceptive. I find it extremely difficult to actually execute a pass here without being vulnerable throughout the next few corners. You can see Steve Hicks trying to buy into this one, but good pass there from Adam State. Was given the opportunity and pounced on.
Just getting some news as well on what happened to Michael Preston. Disconnect between the qualifying and the race. That's why we saw Michael Preston so far off the pack, because he'll have had to start from pit lane.
Serious pressure from Christopher Kirk.
Still very close as well. You're one of those drivers towards the front. Do you think you're still in that same frame of mind, Howard, of don't go for the 50-50s, because yes, you could gain one position but you could lose a lot more?
It's an interesting one, isn't it? I mean, no, I think you'd be battling away as well. Look at this. How's this for evidence?
That's the answer.
There you go. This is down the inside. Goes Adam State trying to hold off an attack from Tom Dix. And then behind them, it's getting very tight there between the likes of Hansen and Dan Gamblin, who's still, Andrew, is comfortably your highest placed Class 2 driver.
Yeah, he's doing a really super job, is Dan Gamblin, taking the opportunities presented here. Here's your lead group then. Still Ross Deal ahead of Sam Sanders, with Jack Eyre just behind. Jack Eyre now the fastest driver on circuit, 1:43.611. Big thanks to our championship sponsors for 2023, Club 100 themselves, sponsoring once again with the opportunity for the Class 1 and Class 2 winners. As off there is Christopher Kirk.
Yep.
Pivots it back round. but he's going to lose positions. I think, was he in a battle with Jamie Jenkins and William Doyle? Possibly.
No, he was further up than that, Andrew. He was battling away with Mike Hart.
Okay.
Last lap. That's a costly one for him.
Back with our second group. Adam Tate still at the front of it. Tom Dix to the outside again. Steve Hicks pulls two drivers left to try and get a bit of slipstream off the number 27. It's well defended by Adam State. Inch perfect, but is Tom Dix going to have a run? Nope, he's going to have to fall back in behind the number 64.
Yes, indeed. I thought that Steve Hicks was going to try and put a move in there on Tom Dix if it didn't come through. But it stays as they were, as Tom Dix has a look to the inside briefly, whilst meanwhile Hansen has a look to the inside of Hicks. Stays as they were. As I say, it's so difficult to execute a pass through that last set they've just gone through. This is tasty though, isn't it?
It's been very good. Very, very good racing so far here at Okayama. Daytona session to follow up after this. Well, it'll be the same format, time qualifying, then the heat, the qualifying race, as it were, which will then set the grids for the B and the A finals. 2 laps to go. Ross Steele still leading by 0.7 of a second ahead of Sam Sanders. Third is Jack Eyre. Michael Weddle in a bit of no man's land at the moment in 4th place ahead of this scrap here. 5th downwards, Adam State in the red and blue car. Tom Dix, Steve Hicks, Chris Hansen. Oh dear, mate. We've got 2 admin team members.
I was thinking they did go side by side last lap as well. So yeah, this could be interesting.
Don't want any protests involving admin team members, please. Dan Gamblin still doing a great job there in the Lightning McQueen number car. Leading in the Class 2s, those cars, those drivers I should say, denoted by the blue number boards. Tim Penny had a spin early on. He's doing all right at the moment. Howard is recovering back through the power of the Jaffa Cakes, has got him up to P14.
Yeah, as Adam State uses all of the available runoff on the exit of Pipers then, I thought he was going to start to get a bit of a spin on, but seemed to be in control of it.
Well, the last lap board will be out shortly as Ross Steele crosses the line. Indeed, there it is. This won't decide the round win. The results from Okayama will be combined with those from Daytona.
And I think that's the key thing, Andrew, is that this is a round where you have to be good across 2 different cars at 2 different tracks to take the round win. It's not just that we're doing 2 rounds in one evening, it's that that's how the whole round is determined.
And I say we mentioned the partners earlier, so Club 100 giving the prize once again to the winning Class 1 driver and Class 2 driver across the season. They're going to go in the 2024 Club 100 Endurance Championship at a round of their choice, free of charge. G3 Pro sponsoring as well with goodie bags for the class winners. Side by side once again, Tom Dix to the outside of Adam State, but I think he's just going to do that same move. He's very good at getting this Toyota down onto the apex here, Howard. It's been very, very controlled and measured driving from Adam State.
Yeah, positioning himself well. Oh, but he's going to be... Oh, I thought he was going to be compromised going into Pipers then, but just managed to turn the move by giving a little, a bit of a shoulder check there. Meanwhile, though, Chris Hansen would like to go down the inside of Steve Hicks. It is the 2 committee members, mate. They are going to go side by side here. There's even a bit of blinking, at least at my end, there from Chris Hansen. We need to look to the front, though, because Ross Steele is going to come round and take the win for the A final.
He is indeed. Very good win, very good set of races from Ross Steele here at Okayama. Takes the win in this particular A final by just under a second ahead of Sam Sanders. Jack Eyre completing the top 3. 4th place for Michael Weddle, and a very happy Adam State there in Well, he should be happy because that was a superb drive into P5. The normal chaos begins, which has no reflection on the race result once they've crossed the start-finish line. So it's Deal from Sanders, Air, Weddell, State, Tom Dix, Steve Hicks, Chris Hansen, Nathan Maximum. Great drive from Nathan Maximum from the B final there, finishes P9 in the A. Dan Gamblin P10, and he was the top C2 runner home in that particular race. Really good A final once again, Howard.
Yeah, really good stuff. You could see, I think you could see, well, I was going to say you could see the experience on show, but to be honest, everyone's been driving brilliantly. But yeah, more entertaining battles. Thoroughly enjoyed that between those 20 drivers. And yeah, well done to Ross Deal on that win, and Dan Gamblin as well. I think showing really good form in Class 2. Maybe Jess Alexander would have liked to have given the fight a bit more to him, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they transfer across the other track. It
did indeed. So there is your result for the feature round Okayama. Dan Gamblin, it was mentioned in P10. Just to finish off the rest of the order, Mike Hart in 11th, Murray Adams in P12. Josh Mitchell, P13, Tim Penny and Alex Mitchell bring out the top 15. Jamie Jenkins, Jessica Alexander, Will Doyle, Christopher Kirk and Luke Thompson completes the drivers there in the A final. Right, well that's the first part of the evening done. Keep it locked here on DDMM. We'll be back very shortly at Daytona for the same format again after a few of these messages. Hold that gap. Isaac Morden's got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis got the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essence, but he may. Oh, he's got the run! He's gone for a big move. Switchback by Weaver. Read it beautifully. Saw it coming. Kept the steering open. Let Ben Davis come into the inside, and he still held on to the lead. That was brilliant racing by all three of them here, and I think that's going to be the crucial moment because Joe Weaver, unlike 24 hours ago, not going to need to do the overtake on the last lap. Joe Weaver takes the double in Senior Rotax Round 2 of Super 1 2022. Line on row 11, Jake Wilkins and Andrew Ravage on row 12, and then we'll have our two qualifiers from the B final. Bryn Alban and Dean Everest form up the 26 entries for this, the lightweight sprint A final for round 9 of the 2022 Club 100 Senior Sprint Championship. 12 minutes on the clock. Green light, great start for Mike Coppin. Sweeps across the front. It's a hugely important race this for the championship at the start of the run into the end of the season. Coppin versus Brunton. Early advantage, Howard, to Mike Coppin.
Yeah, absolutely. Last tour of the circuit.
White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hansen. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kelly Wright's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running though. It's not going to go under caution now. On the last lap, it's three of them. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Brendan at all. He's going to try and get the side draft working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. Is Sanders going to hold it? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the line. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. It's Preston. It's Michael.
Stages of this race. Ross Witherow is digging deep again. Has got down to a 32.435 now. It's about a tenth of an. Oh, he's gone for it. Big send.
My goodness me. Ross Witherow, brave as anything, on the brakes into the final corner, takes the lead of the race. That was a superb, awesome overtaking. Now is Ryan McGinnis going to respond back here? He's looking for the inside now. 6 minutes have expired. That came from miles back from Ross Witherow. Kevin Shine is continuing to go round, by the way. Really, he can drive, he's just not got a lot of power in the number 22. And oh my God, round the outside attempting. That is an outrageous manoeuvre. Oh, we saw one lap ago. That was even better from Ryan McGinnis. And over the line to take the racing room left by Whitefoot on the outside there. Good news for David Whitehouse. Look, he's got away. He just needs to get through Ascari chicane and Curva Alboreto, and he's got a great result here. Tom Dix was just holding in front of Steve Hicks there. Dix and Hicks at the moment on the outside of the top 10. They need to get up 2 positions if you're Steve Hicks to get on the front row for contact. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall goes Dix and Hicks. Through goes Ian Sumner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to live coverage on Alpha Live of the 6th and final round for Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland 2022. My name's Andrew Mather. Great to be with you here at the historic Kart Barn Vollen Circuit on the 1st of October 2022. We're here in northern Switzerland for this season finale, and it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute cracker here today. Here's your circuit, 815 metres in length, 12 turns, technical, in its 60th year as well, 60 years of racing here at Vollen. The circuit established in 1962.
It's Michael Lenz. Oh, Michael Lenz, who had a great finish to heat number 2. Something has gone wrong for him there, and he is out of this race. That's a real shame for Michael Lenz. The driver he overtook for the lead on the last lap of heat number 2 goes by him. Samuel Ifrid, what a season it has been. He's going to finish it in the best way. The junior champion for the last 2 years. He was at Grand Final in 2021. He's going to be there again in 2022 as the senior Rotax Max champion. Samuel Ifrid takes the win here at Vollen. Kurt Wenger is going to take the win in Master Max.
Final lap of the 2022 Mini Rock Super Final here at Lonato. Cantat's down the inside, going for the move into turn 4, takes the lead. Has he overshot? It's going to be side by side between the 2 AV Racing drivers as they approach turn 5. Will be advantage Canton on the inside, holds onto the lead, but Cosma Christopher is charging along, has closed the gap. This is not over yet. Kalea still there in second place. They're heading towards the last few hairpins now. Canton defends to the inside. Kalea still there in second. Cosma Christopher can smell that remarkable victory. Canton's still got the lead of this race. He's got to defend down the inside into the last corner. Get the drive off the final corner. Who's going to be Mini Rock champion for 2022? It's going to be Vivek Canton. And the title stays in North America for another year. Vivek Canton wins the lead of the race. Cook is still there in second. Carter's still there in third. They slightly bang wheels. Carter around the outside takes second place. One more opportunity. You've got to think James Roots is still in there as well for the race win. Grayson Wardley, he's got to defend down the inside into Wilkins. He's done just that. He's got to get off the corner. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide. Coming off the corner. Ronnie Carter's gone round the outside. Ronnie Carter becomes champion in the 2022 Super One Miami Bambino Championship with a last corner overtake. Have you ever seen a championship decided like that? What a race win. It's not going to be his first one of the year. Joe Holmes knows the situation. Richard Allen is going to win the Brookmore Park, but for the first time since 2015, Anwar Barul Smith wins a...
Can he hold that gap? Isaac Lauder's got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into
crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis gone the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essence, but he's gone for it, he's gone for a big move! Switchback by Weaver, read it beautifully, saw it coming, kept the steering open, let Ben Davis come into the inside, and he still held on to the lead. That was brilliant racing by all three of them here, and I think that's going to be the crucial moment, because Joe Weaver, unlike 24 hours ago, is not going to need to do the overtake on the last lap. Joe Weaver takes the double in Senior Rotax Round 2 of Super 1 2022.
Line on row 11, Jake Wilkins and Andrew Ravage on row 12, and then we'll have our two qualifiers from the B final. Bryn Albin and Dean Everest form up the 26 entries for this, the lightweight sprint A final for round 9 of the 2022 Club 100 Senior Sprint Championship. 12 minutes on the clock. Green light, great start for Mike Coppin, sweeps across the front. It's a hugely important race this for the championship at the start of the run into the end of the season. Coppin versus Brunton, early advantage, Howard, to Mike Coppin.
Yeah, absolutely. Last tour of the circuit.
White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hansen. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kelly Wright's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running though. It's not going to go under caution now. On the last lap, it's three of them. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Brenton at all. He's going to try and get the side draft working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. Is Sanders going to hold it? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the line. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. It's Preston. It's Michael.
Stages of this race. Ross Witherow is digging deep again. Has got down to a 32.435 now. It's about a tenth of an. Oh, he's gone for it. Big send. My goodness me. Ross Witherow, brave as anything, on the brakes into the final corner, takes the lead of the race. That was a superb, awesome overtake, and now is Ryan McGinnis going to respond back here? He's looking for the inside now. 6 minutes have expired. That came from miles back from Ross Witherow. Kevin Shine is continuing to go round, by the way. Really, he can drive, he's just not got a lot of power in the number 22. And oh my god, down the outside attempting. That is an outrageous manoeuvre. Oh, we saw one lap ago. That was even better from Ryan McGinnis. And over the line to take the racing room left by Whitefoot on the outside there. Good news for David Whitehouse, but he's got away. He just needs to get through Ascari chicane and Curva Alvaretto, and he's got a great result here. Tom Dix just holding in front of Steve Hicks there. Dix and Hicks at the moment on the outside of the top 10. They need to get up 2 positions if you're Steve Hicks to get on the front row for contact. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall goes Dix and Hicks. Through goes he and Sumner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to live coverage on Alpha Live of the 6th and final round for Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland 2022. My name's Andrew Mather. Great to be with you here at the historic Kart Barn Vollen Circuit on the 1st of October 2022. We're here in northern Switzerland for this season finale, and it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute cracker here today. Here's your circuit, 815 metres in length, 12 turns, technical, in its 60th year as well, 60 years of racing here at Vollen. The circuit established in 1962.
It's Michael Lenz. Oh, Michael Lenz, who had a great finish to heat number 2. Something has gone wrong for him there, and he is out of this race. That's a real shame for Michael Lenz. The driver he overtook for the lead on the last lap of heat number 2 goes by him. Samuel Ifrid, what a season it has been. He's going to finish it in the best way. The junior champion for the last 2 years. Was at Grand Final in 2021. He's going to be there again in 2022 as the senior Rotax Max champion. Samuel Ifrid takes the win here at Vollen. Kurt Wenger is going to take the win in Master Max.
Final lap of the 2022 Mini Rock super final here at Lonato. Cantan's down the inside, going for the move into turn 4, takes the lead. Has he overshot? It's going to be side by side between the two AV Racing drivers as they approach turn 5. Will be advantage Canton on the inside, holds onto the lead, but Cosma Christopher is charging along, has closed the gap. This is not over yet. Kalea still there in second place. They're heading towards the last few hairpins now. Cantan defends to the inside. Kalea still there in second. Cosma Christopher can smell that remarkable victory. Cantan's still got the lead of this race. He's got to defend down the inside into the last corner. Get the drive off the final corner. Who's going to be Mini Rock champion for 2022? It's going to be Vivek Cantan. And the title stays in North America for another year. Vivek Cantan wins the lead of the race. Cook is still there in second. Carter's still there in third. They slightly banged wheels. Carter around the outside takes second place. One more opportunity. You've got to think James Roots is still in there as well for the race win. Grayson Wortley, he's got to defend down the inside into Wilkins. He's done just that. He's got to get off the corner. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide. Coming off the corner. Ronnie Carter's gone round the outside. Ronnie Carter becomes champion in the 2022 Super One Miami Bambino Championship with a last corner overtake. Have you ever seen a championship decided like that? What a race win. It's not going to be his first one of the year. Joe Holmes knows the situation. Richard Allen is going to win at Buckmore Park, but for the first time since 2015, Anwar Barul Smith wins a...
Welcome back, everybody, to live coverage of the first round of the 2023 Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. And, we're on to our second part of the evening. Second car, second track. We're back at the Daytona International Speedway, a popular circuit here on iRacing. Andrew Mather and Howard Mitchell still with you for, as we say, the second part of this evening, which, if you've just joined us, we're having a double header tonight with the same format that we've just run around Okayama in the Toyota GT86. So coming up, you've got a live, a timed qualifying session. Everybody then into one big heat race where the top 16 will then qualify through to the A final. But before we get to that A final, we'll have the repechage B final for the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup car here at Daytona. Howard, it's good to be back here at Daytona, if you ask me. I love this circuit.
Yeah, indeed, mate. It's unique, isn't it? This one. Very familiar with it through the 24 Hours of Daytona, and we've been here before as well in CLUB100 BUKC iRACING Championship. I do promise this is practice, honest, that they're doing at the moment. But yeah, it's a brilliant track. It's deceptive, right? I think I've used that word for both of the tracks tonight. What I mean by that in the case of this track is you look at a circuit map and go, oh, easy. That's easy, that is. And yet there is so much detail to it, so many little bits and pieces. For example, the section that we're watching some cars go through now, the sort of zigzag that happens after turn 1. Some of the bumps on this infield section as well, and getting the line right, the braking into the second hairpin as well, and getting good traction onto the banking as well. There's so many little bits and pieces that make an amazing lap around this Daytona road course that it really is actually quite a challenge. And at the same time, you get that awesome feeling that you get that brilliant mix. It's almost like the road course version of Rallycross, that you get a mix of the flat road course and then the banking as well. It's really fun to drive.
It's say in the combination that we've got here of the Global Mazda MX-5 Cup and Daytona, and this time of day as well. If you don't like this one, ladies and gentlemen, feel free to give grief to me in the chat, because this was my bit of the calendar influence. I said I wanted Daytona, I wanted Mazda MX-5s, I wanted it in Sunset, because when this happens in real life as a support event to the real life Daytona 24 Hours, this is one of my favourite race events of the year.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's a brilliant event. And
Thomas Coates says in chat, it's just 4 left turns, isn't it? No, of course not. Of course not. Qualifying is getting underway. So, yes, this is the same format as we had earlier on in the evening round Okayama. So each driver has 8 minutes, 2 flying laps to set as fast a lap time as possible, which will then set the grid for the heat race, qualifying, sprint, all-together race, whatever you want to call it. The first race round here at Daytona. I'm just seeing as well, I was hearing that we might get Dan Crossley also in this part. No, but I don't think he's in the lobby. So it's the same group of drivers that we had earlier on. And again, they are all in solo qualifying. So they're all at their end of things on the track by themselves, no slipstreams, no excuses of someone got in my way and caused traffic. It's all down to the driver. Here we are on board with Ross Deal. So Ross has already had a good round so far tonight. He's very quick in the GT86's round Okayama. What can he do here in the good old MX-5, the car we started with here at Daytona?
Onto the banking. Such a different track though, mate. It really is a very different circuit to throw ourselves at in the second half of this round's running. That's what makes it part of the challenge. Down into the Le Mans chicane.
Good stuff.
Now called.
Not the bus stop anymore. But a very tricky set of corners in itself, because you've got to get the exit right, because you carry that speed now past the Sunoco Racing sign through turn 3 and turn 4 and towards the tri-oval. Now we should state, before we get into racing conditions, we're aligned with the sporting code and the Matt Malone video. You cannot go below the apron here. You can go below the apron yellow line here, but if you go down below it, you must not come back up in racing conditions. So this is fine. Before everyone starts going, he's below the apron. No, this is fine. This is allowed. Transferring back up and then into the road course section. This, Howard, I think is one of the trickiest corners in iRacing, getting this first corner right.
Yeah, I didn't even mention it in my in my sort of description of the challenges, but absolutely coming down off the banking, these zigzags that they just went through, if you get any side-by-side action during the race, that's going to get tasty. Breaking into this, you can see how much adjustment he's doing on the wheel. This is not just an easy, there's just, 5 or 6 corners, it's fine. This is really going to be interesting. You're going to have cars side-by-side as well, heading towards this dog leg, as it's called, this left-hand kink. And then you've got to sort yourselves out under braking, and this can feel like an eternity, this corner, at times. But I have to say, it does feel quite different in the sort of sprightly MX-5s to sometimes how it can feel in other cars. And then this is the one, Andrew, that I always struggle with, at least, carrying as much pace as you can up onto the banking, because if you mess that up, or if you really mess this up, you'll go into a spin and you'll be facing the wrong way. But it's all about having that pace onto this long straight now.
So back to apron watch. You can't go below it here. This is not allowed. Also, it would be not allowed if Ross was doing it, but Ross is doing it absolutely fine. Now, in racing conditions, you can go below the apron here. You can defend down to the white line. No need for Ross to do that, though, in a qualifying scenario. It needs to get the line right for the Le Mans chicane. 1 part done, 2 parts done, 3 parts done, 4 parts done, that's fine. And again, can stay down, but as long as he's back up before those cones, that was a legal lap, or it's been a legal lap so far for Ross Steele around this Daytona International Speedway road course. Heading towards the finish line now. This has looked like a clean and tidy lap, Howard.
Yeah, indeed. Looks good to me, Andrew. We'll see how he comes out as he crosses the line.
Over the line goes Ross, and just waiting for the time to update. That's a 2-minute 9.73. So can anybody beat that? Well, Mike Hartz can go pretty close. 2-minute 9.93. Adam States comes across the line, does a 2:10.5. Meanwhile, Deal is onto their second lap. Steve Hicks comes across the line, does a 2-minute 10.31. Tom Dix has just gone purple through sector number 1, I can see on our live timing screens. Here's Lawrence Vines. Good qualifying so far, I should say. He's in P11. Michael Preston goes fastest. 2-minute 9.28. That's a big lap there from Michael. He needs a good result here for the context of this evening, having had connection issues earlier on in the night. On to the second lap, just trying to see who's going quickly on their second lap, at least on the sector times. You can see that Ross Steele is about halfway through his second lap, Howard, but I don't think he's going any quicker.
No, indeed. I think that's as much as he's going to get out of the car.
Yep, and he's indeed gone to pit lane. So Ross Steele, best you can hope for on the grid for this one is P2. Who's going fastest in Class 2 at the moment? I think you can see Luke Tomlinson's gone along quite nicely. Michael Lithgow's had a great qualifying. He's up into 15th place. At least that's what I've got at my end. That's a really good run for Michael Lithgow, one of the Class 3s. Those are the drivers who are novices to iRacing, novices to this championship. And so have they... Oh, and Michael Preston just pushing a little bit too hard there, Howard, through the Le Mans chicane. Back end stepped out. That won't be a quicker lap time for him.
No, that'll be a costly moment for him there. And Murray Adams has finished his run, so who's still out there? We've got Jamie Jenkins here.
Adam States goes onto the front row of the grid. 2-minute 9.62. Jamie Jenkins coming over the line here. Hasn't registered a lap time yet and goes 18th. With the second flying lap there. Who else has? I think Matt Hale is yet to complete lap times. Murray Adams goes fastest of the C2s, I can tell you, on a 2-minute 10.69. Oh, Sam Dimolo pushes him close though. Sam Dimolo goes to a 2-minute 10.70, only 1/100th of a second off, so good work there for Adams and Dimolo, both at the moment in the top 16. If they could hold those positions in the race, they will qualify through. Oh, as Rick Wong's got that all completely wrong through the Le Mans chicane. On board now with Kirith Kali-Rai. Hasn't set a lap time, a legal lap time yet. And that's the end of qualifying. I was like, well, I was up for a second there. Where's Kirith gone? That was the end of qualifying. So we'll grid up now for, again, the same format that we had earlier. The difference being now a rolling start here at Daytona. And I think that the key bit here for the start, Howard, has got to be the exit of turn number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to. Well, for me, it's not. It's the exit of turn 1 combined with that run down to International Horseshoe. You know, between turns 1 and proper turn 2, you know, you want to be giving each other proper racing room. You want to be giving each other respect. So yeah, I think that's the critical thing with this start, is get through to that get through to that International Horseshoe, and you can work things out from there. I always find.
Here's your grid then for the second part of tonight's racing, the full field qualifying race at Daytona. Michael Preston has pole position, Adam State alongside him on the front row, Ross Deal and Mike Hart on row 2, Steve Hicks and Michael Weddle row 3, Nathan Maximan and Sam Sanders on row 4, Jack Eyre and Lawrence Vines on row 5, Tom Dixon, Chris Hansen on row 6, all C1s on the first 6 rows of the grid. Tim Penny is 13th on the grid. Murray Adams is the first of the C2s there on row 7. Sam Dimolo and Cameron Watson on row 8. Luke Tomlinson and Tom Edwards on row 9. Jamie Jenkins and Will Doyle complete the top 20. Christopher Kirk and Dan Gamblin are on the 11th row of the grid. First of the C3s, the novices. Michael Lithgow is on the 12th row of the grid alongside James Fremont. Craig Brown and Jessica Alexander go from row 13. Matt Hale and Simon Delamere start on row 14. Murray Scott and Alan Curtis are inside the top 30. Jay Elliott and Rick Wong start on row 16. Richard Sanders and Josh Mitchell start on row 17. Matthew Whitefoot and Kirith Kali-Rai did not complete lap times in the qualifying session. They start on row 18. Ian Sumner and David Whitehouse start on row 19. Rodri Parry completes the 39 runners here at Daytona for this what should be 9-lap race. So we're here going round the banking. Let's see on the... Is this the chopper cam? Is the chopper cam in action, Howard?
Might be. I think so, yes.
Pace car will pull off to driver's left. As I say, this is a rolling start, different to what we had in the earlier part of the session. Now, I'm seeing a yellow flag out.
I'm seeing a yellow flag.
That was not me. I did not press anything. Yes, I think, right, so I think what's happened here, I think this has been a call from race admin. Let's get everybody's tyres up to, because there have been a few concerns recently with the Mazda MX-5 regards getting temperature into the tyres on the Mazda MX-5 and it being a bit skittish. So I think that's what's been done here. That there's been a bit of a chat and we've gone, let's have a lap under the pace car, get everybody's tyres up to speed, and then we'll effectively have an 8-lap race. So yep, I can understand why that decision's been taken. Extra lap due to crash at the back of the field is what I'm hearing from Thomas Cope. Thank you, mate. Our chief photographer wizard, who's in the lobby tonight. So that's why that one's been called. So that will give drivers the opportunity to get back onto the rear of the field. These drivers at the front, give them a bit of a chance to get the tyres up to temperature, Howard.
Yes, indeed. Indeed it will. Bit unusual this, isn't it, though? It's going to be interesting for them just psychologically. Got to keep their eye in and just stay calm ahead of this one. Didn't actually see what the incident was at the back of the field.
Toroscope says drama before green means this will be a great race. Well, I think this is the one that people have been a little bit wary of ahead of things tonight. Survival is going to be the key word in the early stages, same as we had in Okayama. If you want to be in the A final, automatically just need to finish 16th or higher, but it's a 39 car field. But there are opportunities to overtake round here. Sometimes a bit of patience will be rewarded round this circuit, especially in these Mazda MX-5s. We know from previous races we've held here with this combo and in real life as well that it's all about the draft. Far easier to get your moves done when you've got the long straights here and the big bankings to aid you past a competitor. Right, I think we are now about good to go. It'll effectively now be an 8-lap heat. Pace car will pull to driver's left this time because the lights have been extinguished on the top of the Porsche, and we will be ready to go racing. Just to check with you, mate, are we on board at your end with Michael Preston?
We're not on board, mate. I'm giving the camera crew a lot of briefing. Bear with me.
Okay, away we go then. Michael Preston will take us over the line, and we are green and racing at Daytona.
Yes, indeed. Away we go, and it is Michael Preston who leads them through turn 1. Here's the critical bit that we were talking about. And it looks to me like we've got an incident at the back, though. And a few cars involved there. Looks like Matt Hale and Murray Scott have gone to the back of the field. It is still Michael Preston who leads them out of the International Horseshoe and down towards Dogleg for the first time. The usual vying for position all the way down through the field. As they head into the second hairpin of this infield section now. Michael Preston leads them through, and some good side-by-side action. Don't think there's been... Oh, Richard Sanders has had an incident. There is an incident further back. Kirith Kalirai is involved as well. As the lead pack are now come well onto the banking. We've got plenty of vying for positions. And heading towards the Le Mans chicane, I can see Jack Eyre battling away with Tom Dix and Lawrence Vines. Good stuff. Good start from Murray Adams, top of Class 2. Michael Lithgow continuing where he left off at Okayama, leading the Class 3 standings at the moment. Problem for Jess Alexander, though. Oh, no, more frustration for Jess in this one. She's gone off in the Le Mans chicane. Ross Deal has got by on Michael Preston as well through the banking now. It's Ross Deal to the front as they come through to finish lap 1, but the top the top 9 are covered by 1 second in all of that. This is quite something. Oh, and there's contact, and I think that's Mike Hart has been involved, And, oh, dearie me, that's been costly there. And it's Michael Weddle who's come off worse from that, falling well down the order. So that's broken up this lead pack. That's given an opportunity for Michael Preston and Adam State to break away here. Looking back from Michael Preston, or at least my camera crew are, looking back at Adam State. As they come onto the banking now, Adam State going to try and get as good a drive as he can up onto it. And Adam State in the slipstream. Is he going to bump draft Michael here a little bit? Try and break away. Ross Deal not far behind either. Was leading the race at the end of this lap, so we've had more change this time around. Through the Le Mans chicane. Good exit there for Ross Deal. I think he'll be challenging Adam State now for the lead of this one. Oh, sorry, for second place, I should say.
Apologies for the slight technical hitch there, folks, but I think we are now back with full aligned cameras. It's been that key word, hasn't it? Howard survived the first couple of laps to do well in this one.
It certainly has. Some of the camera crew didn't make it, and it absolutely has been, mate. We've already had one incident from amongst the top part of the field there that really broke up this pack. Now coming out of the International Horseshoe. Steve Hicks here in the Mazda 787B tribute livery there, as Ross Deal goes down the inside of Adam State ahead of him, and that is a lovely move from Ross Deal to take him up into second place.
So we caught some of the shots from the blimp of some of those higher up the order drivers having that incident down at turn one. How are they looking now? Are they looking like they're outside the top 16 and with work to do?
Well, Michael Weddle really suffered from that one. Here he is, Andrew, running in 18th place, so crucially outside of that top 16. Lawrence Vines, I think, was a driver who was involved in some of that, and he's there in 10th, so he's still in those that A final qualification group. But look at the group he's in, mate. It's so close here. They're all bump drafting each other into the Le Mans chicane.
Yep. Trying to keep us a part of the main group, but these top four have really streaked away. Michael Preston, Ross Deal, Adam State and Steve Hicks. And surely they will just take it nice and calmly now through the rest of this race to make sure that they are in that A final later on. Bit of a gap back to Mike Hart and Jack Eyre behind. C2 on us at the moment, going to Murray Adams, doing very nicely there in 9th place. Was one of the title contenders for C2 last season. We'll be looking to go a couple of places better here in 2023. Down the inside, looking there is that is well on board now with Steve Hicks. It's side by side between the 64 and the 79 of Adam State and Ross Deal. Michael Preston still at the front of it all. There may be a gap here for Steve Hicks to the inside, opened up by the number 64 of Adam State, who is having a really, really good night here so far. Looking a bit further back, there's Nathan Maximin, number 31, fighting side by side with Mike Hart and Jack Eyre just ahead. Oh, I think there's a problem in the background though. Is that William Doyle falling backwards or Whitefoot? Saw the car looking a little bit out of shape. Meanwhile, still at the front of this order. Yeah, Matthew Whitefoot is in trouble, just coming out of the pits. It's already a lap down, but at least has the B final in a few moments' time to try and elevate himself back up the order.
Yeah, I think there was an incident in turn 1 as well, Andrew. Not sure if Tom Dix was involved. He seems a bit out of position to me.
Yep.
But I saw some smoke in the background there.
Yep. At the moment, who have we got on the cusp, side by side between Air and Maximin?
Well, Michael Weddle here is on the cusp, but he's got a fair old gap to make up to Dan Gamlin ahead.
Yep.
So it's really just the challenge of Sam Dimolo behind there, as we're going to cut back to the side-by-side action heading towards the Le Mans chicane.
It's good to see the memes car back out once again.
It is, isn't it?
And ever stay when the Mazda MX-5s come out to play. On board with Mike Hart now. Now you see the power of the slipstream. Nothing really that Jack Air can do at the moment, but wait for that help from Mike Hart behind. Nathan Maxim has chosen to go to the high side this time. The drivers have been told, just as in real life, there mustn't be too much, there mustn't be excessive bump drafting. Look at that run round the outside for Cameron Watson. 3 wide as they go down into turn 1. Are they all going to get this right? Oh, bit of a shoulder barge there on Nathan Maximin. Lawrence Vines pulls up in good time. But everybody behaving themselves quite well here. All of these drivers now at the moment, they are qualifying for the A final. No need to take any silly risks at this stage, Howard.
Yeah, good racing room being given, isn't there? These drivers do know what's at stake. Having said that, I wouldn't call it exactly sedate.
No.
There's Chris Hansen's, at least at my mate. We've got Chris Hansen back in his gold.
Back in the gold, still rocking it. But he is not the C2 champion anymore. In fact, we've not got our reigning C2 champion here tonight, but Christopher Powell will hopefully be with us later on in the season. Essentially the championship races once a month between now and November, December time. Bit of a break in the summer whilst people go on their summer holidays. If you want to follow all of the action here, every single race in this year's CLUB100 BUKC iRacing Championship will be live and available for you here on the DDMM YouTube channel. Why not you get as close to the subscribe button as Mike Hart is there to the rear bumper of Jack Air. Down the inside, looking as well as the 210 of Murray Adams in freshly painted MX-5. He did that one earlier on this evening, that custom paint on the car.
It's very nice.
Yes.
I like it.
Might have to pinch that one for myself.
This is not a sped up formation lap though, folks, I promise. This is side by side here on the banking. Starting to begin another lap.
3 wide towards the back with, I think, Luke Tomlinson in the middle of it all.
I don't want to jinx it, I'm just saying, if there were an incident right now, there'd be one heck of a B final.
Yes. Oh, that's a great move from Murray Adams. Oh, he gets a bit of a tap on the rear, controls it well. Nathan Maximin on the outside. They're playing a risky game here at the moment, considering that they're all comfortably in the top 16 at the moment. Side cam with Chris Hansen now. That's the 103 of Luke Tomlinson ahead.
He's side by side with Cameron Watson. We were on the wrong side of his car because he's side by side with Cameron Watson there heading towards Dogleg. And Watson manages to hold on there. I mean, this is great stuff, Andrew. This is great racing here.
Yeah.
So long as it all stays the right side of clean.
Luke Vines was making an attempt there to move from 8th place into 7th place. Mike Hart's been shuffled down in all of this. He's now in P9 with Tim Penny. That's the turquoise blue Nomad racing car in the middle of it all there. It's give an opportunity for Josh Mitchell, I think, as well, to hop up some positions. Because, of course, what those drivers will be thinking about, taking care of themselves first and foremost to not end up outside the top 16, but at the same time thinking, well, I'm in a pack of 7 or 8 cars here, if I can get at the front of it, that's going to be quite a difference for where I start in the A final.
Absolutely. We've had definite change here, Andrew, as well. Earlier on it was quite calm, really, for 16th place. Now there's quite a pack of cars forming here, led by Tom Edwards. But Matt Hale, Dan Gamlin, Michael Lithgow and James Fremont are all in on this. It's worth mentioning, in the case of Michael Lithgow being in this, I don't think we saw a Class 3 driver in the A final at Okayama. So that's something to keep an eye on.
Not long to go as well. At the moment, you know, if you're Matt Hale, do you try and help Tom Edwards to push up to, well, I'd say the gap's a little bit too far now, isn't it? It's 6 seconds up to Sam Dimolo ahead. Should note as well, I think Tom Edwards has been giving Jimmy Broadbent a call. He's borrowed the Minty livery for this evening. And Jimmer, if you are listening, on the off chance, you are eligible for this.
You are eligible, yeah, absolutely.
Any driver who's raced in Club 100 or BUKC, past or present, is eligible for this championship. Don't have to be a current licence holder. You do have to be a current licence holder. Oh, big moment there. That's going to be a slap into the wall for the number 394 of Michael Lithgow, who is doing so well in C3. The front left corner of that car is completely done. That's going to be him out of the race. What a shame.
Yeah, that's a real shame. It does give the opportunity, though, to this man, who probably isn't thinking about it right now because he's side by side, but with other drivers. But in Sumner, therefore, inherits the Class 3 lead.
Does indeed. Jess Alexander just ahead there with Michael Whitson. Something must have happened to Michael Weddle because he was in 16th place and has now slipped down to P21.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. I'm not sure what befell him there. Here is the battle for 16th place, though, Andrew. Matt Hale in the slipstream of Tom Edwards.
This could all be about timing here. Not a bad spot to be at the moment if you're Matt Hale, just to try and keep pushing Tom Edwards along. A driver who's got a lot of oval experience as well. Knows how to race in a pack. Knows how to slipstream. Knows when to break out of the slipstream, of course. Is that what Matt Hale's trying to do at the moment? Just to keep himself there in prime position for the late run to the line, which isn't going to be quite yet. Leader comes over the start-finish line to start the penultimate lap of the race, of the heat. Dropped a bit of time, though, coming through the Le Mans chicane, did Matt Hale. Work to do to catch up to Tom Edwards ahead.
He was on it.
Now Tim Penny, that was Tim Penny going for a very, very long wide drive out. He's managed to get it stopped. That's not an optimum line through and breaking into turn one. That was quite bizarre.
I mean, it's getting your money's worth out of the tarmac, I guess. But no, that's not great. As Nathan Maximin's had an incident.
Yeah, Nathan Maximin has had an incident. Spins it back round, gets going again. Well, it's a good job. They've got a big gap over that Edwards-Hale-Fremont battle. They're leaving a little bit of paint on each other through the latter stages of this heat. If you're still enjoying the coverage, do let us know in the chat. It's one of those nights. I know there have been some new subscribers, but Google's not telling me who you are. Apologies.
Oh, it's unfortunate for Dan Gamblin here, Andrew.
Yeah.
This race is turning into one to forget, I'm afraid, for Dan. He's had some kind of incident there that's put him on the outside out of turn one. That's dropped him down to 30th place.
Yeah, not good news at all. Meanwhile, this is the battle for 13th place. Tim Penny and Nathan Maximin. Side by side as they go round the high banking at the far side of the circuit. That's the back straight away as they go down towards the Le Mans chicane. As I say, they should easily be through because that trio back there, that's the cut-off point for getting through to the A final. How about Sam Dimolo at this stage of the race, Howard? A driver who had a bit of a baptism of fire, shall we say, when he joined the iRacing ranks about 6 months ago. This would be one of the strongest results he's had so far if he can bring this home in P15.
Yeah, absolutely. He's had a fairly quiet one of it, hasn't he? But he's been doing what he needs to do at this stage and driving well. He's having a bit of a quiet one. In fact, here he is having a quiet one. But it's going to be, as you say, a notable result for him getting into that A final. Matt Hale is currently in that 16th place, by the way. He did get by on Tom Edwards, but I'm not sure how much longer that's going to be the case because Edwards is side by side here.
On to the last lap then. Most of the drivers in the top 16 just have to have one more clean tour of the circuit and they'll be into the A final, but we've got one spot still up for grabs there between Matt Hale, who currently holds it, Tom Edwards in the minty green Husingfeld car number 58, looking to the outside into the International Horseshoe, and James Fremont is still an interested party there in the classic Rothmans livery. And it's not a fully enforced rule at the moment, but most drivers have been told that if they can hold to a set of liveries, whoa, Tom Edwards gets out wide. That is one of the things that can happen through the kink. If you get off line, it's very slippery out there. You know, you'd only need to go a car width wide to get into that sort of bother. That was well dealt with by Tom Edwards, and he's still in the fight here. Matt Hale will take them onto the banking on this last lap. If you're Tom Edwards, do you try and set it up into the bus stop, or do you wait to go off the bus stop and drag it to the line?
Well, we might be able to get some inspiration from the top three here, mate, because they're going to the line. Michael Preston's leading at the moment, but Ross Dill is pulling alongside.
Is indeed.
It's going to be super close across the line, and look out for Steve Hicks as well. There's going to be three abreast heading towards the line. It's Ross Dill at the moment. Now it's Steve Hicks. Who is going to cross this line in first? It's going to be Steve Hicks by 3/100ths of a second.
Well, I can't believe it. Steve Hicks has won a race. I've never seen this happen. Well, not for at least
James
a few years.
Fremont's got to 16th place, Andrew.
Yeah, he has got into 16th place. This is the battle that we've been looking at the last few laps of who can get into the A final. Matt Hale pulls out wide. Can the oval racer get it right here at Daytona? There's going to be a little bit of contact between Fremont and Edwards. Hale has the lead as they go towards the line. Fremont's going to need some help from behind. It's going to be very close. Very, very close. Hale gets it. Oh, Hale gets it by, get this, Howard, 7/1000ths of a second.
I'm glad you know, because my timing only goes to hundredths. It's a dead heat on mine.
Wow. Well, that's Daytona was delivered. Daytona was delivered on the close finish that we were looking for. The rest of the field coming over the line to complete the heats race. 16 drivers move on to the A final. The rest of them will race again in the B. And a really, really good start to the racing elements here at Daytona. Quieter at the front, though. Those early incidents, Howard, spread the field out a bit. But again, it's one of the characteristics of this place that when you lose the toe, you do lose a lot of time.
You do indeed. I mean, it was relatively quiet at the front until the end there. I mean, brilliantly timed from Hicks to get the jump on Dill and Preston at the end. But let's not go too much on the idea that it was quiet at the front, mate. That pack in the sort of 5th place down through to about 12th, that was tasty throughout. And a few drivers maybe who feel out of position, who will not have expected to end up in that B final, which in of itself is going to make the next one very interesting.
Is indeed. So B final coming up shortly. Do keep it locked here on the DDMM YouTube channel. If you're enjoying the stream tonight, do consider clicking that subscribe button. We're trying to get up to 700 subscribers here on the channel. As I say, we've got lots of content coming up across the next few weeks. A very busy April, as an example. Grid forming up though, Howard, for the B final. Rolling starts again for all the drivers, and the job here, get in that top 4 to qualify for the A.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the key thing here, and it'll be it'll be perhaps a few frustrated drivers at the front of this one because they came so close. Have we got a different number of drivers promoted to the A final on this one, mate?
Good question. Good question. Because there's drivers on this grid that I was not expecting to see in this race. Servers restarting, by the way, is what I'm hearing. So let's go to a short break here whilst we suss out what's happening with the servers. Keep it locked here on DDMM for more action in the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship.
Can he hold that gap? Isaac Lauder's got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis got the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essence, but he's got the run, he's gone for a big move. Switchback by Weaver. Read it beautifully, saw it coming, kept the steering open, let Ben Davis commit to the inside, and he's still held on to the lead. That was brilliant racing by all three of them here, and I think that's going to be the crucial moment, because Joe Weaver, unlike 24 hours ago, is not going to need to do the overtake on the last lap. Joe Weaver takes the double in Senior Rotax Round 2 of Super 1 2022.
Line on row 11, Jake Wilkins and Andrew Ravage on row 12, and then we'll have our two qualifiers from the B final. Bryn Albin and Dean Everest form up the 26 entries for this, the lightweight sprint A final for round 9 of the 2022 Club 100 Senior Sprint Championship. 12 minutes on the clock. Green light, great start for Mike Coppin, sweeps across the front. It's a hugely important race this for the championship at the start of the run into the end of the season. Coppin versus Brunton, early advantage, Howard, to Mike Coppin.
Yeah, absolutely. Last tour of the circuit.
White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hansen. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kelly Wright's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running though. It's not going to go under caution now. On the last lap, it's three of them. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Brenton at all. He's going to try and get the side trap working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. It's going to hold a bit of there on the line. It's a photo finish. Photo finish express. It's Michael.
Stages of this race. Ross Witherow is digging deep again. Has got down to a 32.435 now. It's about a tenth of an. Oh, he's gone for it. Big send.
My goodness me. Ross Witherow, brave as anything, on the brakes into the final corner, takes the lead of the race. That was a superb, awesome overtake, and now is Ryan McGinnis going to respond back here? He's looking for the inside now. 6 minutes have expired. That came from miles back from Ross Witherow. Kevin Shine is continuing to go round, by the way. Really, he can drive, he's just not got a lot of power in the number 22. And oh my God, round the outside attempting. That is an outrageous manoeuvre. Oh, we saw one lap ago. That was even better from Ryan McGinnis. And over the line to take the racing room left by Whitefoot on the outside there. Good news for David Whitehouse. Look, he's got away. He just needs to get through Ascari Chicane and Curva Alboreto, and he's got a great result here. Tom Dix just holding in front of Steve Hicks there. Dix and Hicks at the moment on the outside of the top 10. They need to get up 2 positions if you're Steve Hicks to get on the front row for contact. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall goes Dix and Hicks. Through goes Ian Sumner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to live coverage on Alpha Live of the 6th and final round for Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland 2022. My name's Andrew Mather. Great to be with you here at the historic Kart Barn Vollen Circuit on the 1st of October 2022. We're here in northern Switzerland for this season finale, and it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute cracker here today. Here's your circuit, 815 metres in length, 12 turns, technical, in its 60th year as well, 60 years of racing here at Vollen. The circuit's established in 1962.
It's Michael Lenz. Oh, Michael Lenz, who had a great finish to heat number 2. Something has gone wrong for him there, and he is out of this race. That's a real shame for Michael Enns. The driver he overtook for the lead on the last lap of heat number 2 goes by him. Samuel Ifrid, what a season it has been. He's going to finish it in the best way. The junior champion for the last 2 years. Was at Grand Final in 2021. He's going to be there again in 2022 as the senior Rotax Max champion. Samuel Ifrid takes the win here at Vollen. Kurt Wenger is going to take the win in Master Max.
Final lap of the 2022 Mini Rock Super Final here at Lonato. Captain's down the inside, going for the move into turn 4, takes the lead. Has he overshot? It's going to be side by side between the two AV Racing drivers.
Can he hold that gap? Isaac Lord has got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis got the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essence, but he's got the run, he's gone for a big move. Switched back by Weaver. Read it beautifully, saw it coming, kept the steering open, let Ben Davis come into the inside, and he still held on to the lead. That was brilliant racing by all 3 of them here, and I think that's going to be the crucial moment, because Joe Weaver, unlike 24 hours ago, is not going to need to do the overtake on the last lap. Joe Weaver takes the double in Senior Rotax Round 2 of Super 1 2022.
Line on row 11, Jake Wilkins and Andrew Ravage on row 12, and then we'll have our 2 qualifiers from the B final. Bryn Albin and Dean Everest form up the 26 entries for this, the lightweight sprint A final for round 9 of the 2022 Club 100 Senior Sprint Championship. 12 minutes on the clock. Green light, great start for Mike Coppin. Sweeps across the front. It's a hugely important race, this, for the championship at the start of the run into the end of the season. Coppin versus Brunton. Early advantage, Howard, to Mike Coppin.
Yeah, absolutely. Last tour of the circuit.
White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hansen. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kelly Wright's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running though. It's not going to go under caution now. On the last lap, it's 3 of them. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Brendan at all. He's going to try and get the side draft working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. Is Sanders going to hold it? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the line. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. It's Preston. It's Michael.
Stages of this race. Ross Witherow is digging deep again. Has got down to a 32.435 now. It's about a 10th of an. Oh, he's gone for it. Big send.
My goodness me. Ross Witherow, brave as anything, on the brakes into the final corner, takes the lead of the race. That was a superb, awesome overtaking. Now is Ryan McGinnis going to respond back here? He's looking for the inside now. 6 minutes have expired. That came from miles back from Ross Witherow. Kevin Shine is continuing to go round, by the way. Really, he can drive, he's just not got a lot of power in the number 22. And oh my God, round the outside attempting. That is an outrageous manoeuvre. Oh, we saw one lap ago. That was even better from Ryan McGinnis. And over the line to take the racing room left by Whitefoot on the outside there. Good news for David Whitehouse. I think he's got away. He just needs to get through Ascari Chicane and Curva Alboreto, and he's got a great result here. Tom Dix just holding in front of Steve Hicks there. Dix and Hicks at the moment on the outside of the top 10. They need to get up 2 positions if you're Steve Hicks to get on the front row for contact. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall goes Dix and Hicks. Through goes Ian Sumner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to live coverage on Alpha Live of the 6th and final round for Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland 2022. My name's Andrew Mather. Great to be with you here at the historic Kartbahn Vollen circuit on the 1st of October 2022. We're here in northern Switzerland for this season finale, and it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute cracker here today. Here's your circuit, 815 metres in length, 12 turns, technical, in its 60th year as well, 60 years of racing here at Vollen. The circuit established in 1962.
It's Michael Lenz. Oh, Michael Lenz, who had a great finish to heat number 2. Something has gone wrong for him there, and he is out of this race. That's a real shame for Michael Lenz. The driver he overtook for the lead on the last lap of heat number 2 goes by him. Samuel Ifrid, what a season it has been. He's going to finish it in the best way. The junior champion for the last 2 years. He was at Grand Final in 2021. He's going to be there again in 2022 as the senior Rotax Max champion. Samuel Ifrid takes the win here at Vollen. Kurt Behringer is going to take the win in Master Max.
Final lap of the 2022 Mini Rock Super Final here at Lonato. Cantan's down the inside, going for the move into turn 4, takes the lead. Has he overshot? It's going to be side by side between the two AV Racing drivers as they approach turn 5. Will be advantage Cantan on the inside, holds onto the lead, but Cosma Christopher is charging along, has closed the gap. This is not over yet. Kalea still there in second place. They're heading towards the last few hairpins now. Cantan defends to the inside. Kalea still there in second. Cosma Christopher can smell that remarkable victory. Cantan's still got the lead of this race. He's got to defend down the inside into the last corner. Get the drive off the final corner. Who's going to be Mini Rock champion for 2022? It's going to be Vivek Cantan. And the title stays in North America for another year. Vivek Cantan wins the lead of the race. Cook is still there in second. Carter's still there in third. They slightly bang wheels. Carter around the outside takes second place. One more opportunity. You've got to think James Roots is still in there as well for the race win. Grayson Wortley, he's got to defend down the inside into Wilkins. He's done just that. He's got to get off the corner. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide. Coming off the corner. Ronnie Carter's gone round the outside. Ronnie Carter becomes champion in the 2022 Super One Miami Bambino Championship with a last corner overtake. Have you ever seen a championship decided like that? What a race win. It's not going to be his first one of the year. Joe Holmes knows the situation. Richard Allen is going to win at Brookmore Park, but for the first time since 2015, Anwar Barul Smith wins a...
Can he hold that gap? Isaac Lauden's got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis gone the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essen, but he may... Oh, he's got the run! He's gone for a big move! Switch... Welcome back, everybody, to Daytona and live coverage of the 2023 CLUB100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Apologies for the technical hitches. We're ready here in the broadcast booth for the B final. And Howard, this is all about the getting into the top 4, progressing on to the A, keeping as part of the main pack. Very important in this particular race with this circuit.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a really interesting one. This, like, you get the sense with some of the action that we saw in the heat race not too long ago that this one could go down to the wire for who gets those promotion spots. You know, you can easily in your mind's eye see 6 or 7 cars coming off of that Le Mans chicane or more on that final lap. So it's going to be about being sensible, not getting entangled in an incident at turn 1. And yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. And we believe that it's not quite as we thought at the end of the heat race, because we've got a Matt Hale.
We do have a Matt Hale, which I'll be honest is confusing me.
Yeah, so yes, that's what's been officially declared on the result for the heat race. As someone's in reverse in the pit lane,
that's not going to work.
They do. Yeah, so James Fremont, as I understand it, has been classified as 16th and promoted onto the A final grid.
Yep.
In fairness, I did say that my timing literally had it as a dead heat.
Okay.
So that's gone the way of Fremont there. So Matt Hale, gosh, if he doesn't get through, he'll be ruining that one slightly. But so yeah, that's those are the points coming into this one, is to see who can get into the top 4. So we've got 25 seconds left on the little practice session in this lobby, and then we're going to have the B final. I believe we'll have to have another break then to go into the A final.
Yes. But thanks for staying with us, folks. It's not quite gone how I think Albin team are planning for it to do so tonight. Warm-up is now finishing.
New season. It's a new season. That's all. That's all. We're just getting dusting off all the cobwebs.
The warm-up has now finished. The grid will form. Howard, are the things working accordingly for us to be able to see how this grid form? Yeah, there we go. So Matt Hale on pole position, Tom Edwards alongside on the front row. Jess Alexander and Chris Kirk on the second row of the grid. Ian Sumner and Craig Brown on row 3. Great opportunities for both of them to get through to the A final here. Michael Weddle and Rodri Parry on row 4. Simon Delamere and David Whitehouse on row 5. Alan Curtis and Jamie Jenkins on row 6. Let's have a look through the rest of the grid order. There we go. Kirith Kalirai and Murray Scott on row 7. Will Doyle and Dan Gamblin on row 8. Michael Lithgow and Sam Sanders on row 9. Jay Elliott and Richard Sanders on row 10. Rick Wong and Matthew Whitefoot on row 11 rather. 22 cars rather in the field. It's been a long night. And as we say, the top 4 trying to race, or everyone trying to get into that top 4 to race through to the A final. And
indeed,
we are rolling on the back straight.
We are 9 laps then for this race, or half an hour. But if they took half an hour to do 9 laps, I think
we'd be a little bit concerned. Lights out on the safety car. So hopefully we'll get this one underway straight away. And particularly those top 2 drivers, Howard, they got so close to qualifying for the A final. They'll be looking for clean starts here and trying to break away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, absolutely. It's if they've got their head screwed on for this one, they will be trying to get into a rhythm, keep it clean for the first few corners, and then, as you say, work together. You know, bump drafting on the, so long as they don't unsettle each other in doing it. Whatever it takes to just get a bit of a gap. That's the key here, not going racing for a win.
Right, under starters orders then, and away goes Matt Hale at the front of the field. Good start, good read of it by Jess Alexander as well, straight up into P2. Green flag for 9 laps here at Daytona International Speedway for the B final, and it really was all about being on the pole side of the grid. Jess Alexander running in a little bit wide there. There's chaos behind, and round goes Tom Edwards. Round goes Tom Edwards. Can everybody avoid? No. I think that was Murray Scott running in, and there's a fair few drivers off at the back of the order as well. It is the move from turn 1, out of turn 1 and through into the kink that's caught a few drivers out.
Yeah, absolutely. And oh, there's more stuff at International Horseshoe as well. Christopher Kirk is round. At the front, they have stayed. Well, the top 2 have stayed disciplined and have had the break here, Andrew.
Yeah.
They have quite a gap that they can use now.
Yeah, they can work together and make sure that they take half of the spots available. So it's Hale, Alexander, Weddle, Jenkins and Whitehouse. The top 5 is off there. I think was that Alan Curtis running out in the grass.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Rodri Parry's had issues as well and had to tow. This is your battle over 3rd, 4th and 5th.
I think at this stage of the race you sort of keep working as a 3 at the moment, because you want to keep away from that pack behind. They're going to try and chase you down. It's a bit early in this race for who gets that top 4 to be decided.
Oh, Matt Hale with an incident.
Oh! Matt Hale makes an error, and there's more problems for Tom Edwards in the middle of the exit of Le Mans chicane.
This is bizarre, Andrew. This is a very odd start to the race.
I think it's Rick Wong also involved there. They've got to stay down low. Well, Jess Alexander is now all on her own, out front by nearly 3 seconds over Jamie Jenkins. But all the experience that Jess Alexander has, I think this is a position she'll like to be in, because she can just control her race now.
It is. I mean, I've got to. Was that an enforced error from Matt, or was he helped into it? Because Jess would have been the only person nearby. Is the only thing of suspicion to me.
It is an easy corner to get things wrong. You can bounce over those curbs, especially in a light car like this. As is that Richard Sanders off?
Sanders.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So Richard Sanders is off and looks to be out of the race. Matt Hale is in the pit lane as well.
So yeah, definitely the scruffiest start that we've seen, Andrew. I imagine it'd probably been a borderline safety car in some ways, but everything was sort of split around the lap, wasn't it? The incidents going on there.
Our simographer out there on circuit makes a very good point. Didn't get the extra lap to warm up their tyres, so super cold tyres.
Yes.
That is a very good point indeed, as to why there's perhaps a few more incidents in the early stages of this one than compared to the first one. It does take a while. The tyre model has changed from, say, this time last year. You do have to be quite patient, even in the Mazda MX-5 now.
Yeah, absolutely. Patience, very much the order of the day. This is
it's David Whitehouse.
Yeah, indeed.
He's now on for a run into the A final.
He is. Opportunity for Ian Sumner, though, here, Andrew. Class 3 driver. And he needs things to fall his way a little bit. 1.4 seconds off, but he'll just about beginning to get some kind of slipstream effect, I would have thought.
Yeah. And Ian, who did race last year as well, of course, he's massively improved his iRating actually in recent weeks.
Indeed.
You never know, might be going straight back up to Class 2 again with performances like this, and there is a reward for that, because if you can be in Class 2, you're eligible for the drive. That's a long way off. Talking about championship prizes, but thank you once again to CLUB100 for providing those for this season. So we're
Matthew
3
Whitefoot.
laps in.
Yep, sorry. Matthew Whitefoot under attack there. William Doyle down the inside. Nice move there, Andrew, for 8th place.
Yeah, really good stuff indeed. All of these races counted for championship points as well in some way, shape or form. Winner of the round still gets 100 championship points. But there's no, what we mean by that, there's no drops, there's no drop races. The finals do constitute more round points. A bit of a moment there for 3-2-1 of Jay Elliott. Rick Wong's going to be up alongside, going for 13th place. And yes, should have that one quite easily down the inside. Craig Brown trying to recover as well there in the Heineken 041. He's going to get past Jay Elliott. He's going to be on the inside of Rick Wong as they go onto the banking. And we'll slip through, take that position. That is Brown up to 13th.
Yeah, absolutely. Got the job done there. A very good drive onto the banking. Oh, nearly a bit of a touch between himself and Rick Wong there.
Into the chicane they go. Brown confident through there. Wong with a bit of a compromised line. I think he's going to have lost a fair bit of time. Here's Michael Lithgow in the 394. It's just been overtaken by William Doyle. We should notice as well that Sam Sanders is in this race. I think Sam have a connection issue in the first race. So actually we have got quite a situation on here that Sam Sanders is charging along here. He did a 2-minute 9.665 last time around. That was 1.2 seconds quicker than Ian Sumner. Sam Sanders could be doing what Michael Preston wasn't quite able to do in the Okayama races, racing through from the back after an issue earlier on to try and get back into the top 4 and back into the A final.
Yeah, absolutely. He's going to bring some pressure to bear here, and Ian Sumner, as we mentioned earlier, is coming along to the party, so don't want to be the bearer of bad news from the perspective of the current top 4, but there is going to be some pressure brought to bear on them here.
Yep.
There's plenty of time left in the race for that to happen.
Yeah, Jason Dilworth makes a good point. Sumner made 6/10 on David Whitehouse as well. The pressure is all coming on. It's quite a remarkable situation. You've got a Class 1, a Class 2, a Class 3, and one of the championship contenders from last year. And Sam Sanders was down the inside. Ian Sumner goes round. I think what happened there, I would at first view put that probably as racing incident, that Sumner was wide. Sanders went to the inside. Was in control at all times, and they just kind of met in the middle, and just at that point where they were moving out of the corner.
Yeah.
Now, will that have done damage to Sam Sanders' car?
Yeah, that's the thing, is because this is going to be a track where you are going to feel the difference if you have front damage. Obviously, these aren't, aero-centric cars, but you are going to know if you've got bodywork damage that's affecting you on the straights. Ahead of him, David Whitehouse challenging Jamie Jenkins here. He wants to do this carefully, Andrew, because he does not want to lose time.
No. Well, let's have a look at the lap times as they come over the line here, because if they can keep that gap back to Sam Sanders, they'll both qualify through. 2:11.6s for both Whitehouse and Jenkins. 2-minute 9.5 for Sanders. So even though he had that moment with Ian Sumner, which I think I tend to agree with Sam Dimolo in chat to say, watching in game, Ian was spinning, Sam couldn't avoid. So the pace is still good in the FFR number 34.
I'd say I think I know why David was trying to execute the pass towards the end of that lap, rather than maybe trying to bump draft Andrew. I think he knows that Sanders is very likely to get through, and he wants to be the one in 4th place when the music stops.
Now, do you almost do this a bit tactically?
Yes.
Let Sam Sanders through, and then see if Sam Sanders parts the Red Sea for you ahead to get bypassed Jenkins. Well, Jenkins is going to be on the inside here as they go through turn 6, back onto the banking. Sam Sanders around the outside. can David Whitehouse get the run? Getting the slipstream could be quite important here off the back of Sam Sanders' car. Jamie Jenkins, got to give him, has played that very well. I think he's deliberately not fought that too hard on Sam Sanders through turn 6 to make sure he got a good exit.
Yeah, I think both of them played that tactically as much as they could. David is going to have a run, though, isn't he? He's in the slipstream.
And they're both in the slipstream of Sam Sanders. Sam Sanders may have to defend here. Here comes Jenkins down the inside, not defended by Sam Sanders. And I would assume that he's thinking he's got the pace over the long haul to get that position. But Jenkins back through into 3rd place.
Yeah, he can bide his time here, and indeed he's already got a nose out front as they come off of the Le Mans chicane. And David Whitehouse is going to have to pick who he wants to team up with here, I think. As Sam Sanders goes to the high side, he's going to slot back down into the gap here, back into the slipstream, and then come back out again.
Yep. Can use the side draft a little bit on these cars, but oh, that's a good run that Sam Sanders has got round the top. Now, if you can get down below, I think there's still a bit of an overlap, and in fact Jenkins is now getting help from Whitehouse behind. Whitehouse just giving a little bit of a bump draft, the perfect little bump draft, not too hard to just keep Jenkins in position. Apologies about the little bit of stuttering there.
Trying around the outside is Sam Sanders. This is a really interesting battle. Somehow it's still in the same order that they were before. Should say, by the way, quick look back to the battle you could just see in the background here. Brilliant battle here going on for 6th place downwards.
Tom Edwards is recovering. He's just got past Craig Brown for 11th place, and good to see that Ian Sumner is still running as well in 10th. But this is the key situation now. You'd imagine that 2 of these 3 drivers are going through to the A final, and one of them is going to miss out. But which
Jenkins
one of them is it going to be?
Yeah, Jenkins is now going defensive, Andrew. Now, for my money, it's easy for me to say, based on the pace, you let Sanders go in a way.
Yeah.
But try and stay in his slipstream long enough that you can maybe bridge the gap to David Whitehouse would be, I'd have thought, the tactical way. I don't know. It's a tough one, isn't it? When you're already sat in the promotion spot. This is an interesting one now for these 3.
Well, Sanders is going to go to the outside now. Whitehouse will give the assistance to Jenkins once again, side by side. This is going to be quite close into the Le Mans chicane. This could be an opportunity for Whitehouse off of the chicane. They're going to have to be careful. Sam Sanders just lets it go. He is playing the long game here. We'll try and get a good run. It is a good run off of the Le Mans chicane now.
Yeah, absolutely. Surely this is going to be, he's going to do exactly the same again, dip back into the slipstream and then do a sort of second phase to this run that he's got. Brilliant battle, this.
Sam Sanders now electing to just go for a little bit of bump drafting, but you do have to be careful with this MX-5. The rear axle, it's very light on the rear axle, engine in the front of the car, drive to the rear. It gets very, very light if punted a bit too much. That's why it's easy to spin. And I've got to say, Jamie Jenkins is soaking up this pressure. It's a strange situation because you watch these 3 cars, knowing the promotion situation, you say, well, surely it's the car in 4th place that's got the pressure. That's not the case here. I'd say it's the circuit, the way it races. It's Jamie Jenkins who's under pressure in P3, and he's dealing with it brilliantly.
Yeah, we're looking briefly at this other brilliant battle behind over 6th place, but you're absolutely right, mate. Jenkins, the way that he got the car stopped brilliantly for turn 1 there, it was enough to deter a move. He didn't miss his apex by miles.
Very, very close between Jenkins and Sanders. Now Sanders has got down inside as they approach turn number 6. How does Jenkins play this? Sanders goes through. That obvious pace that we saw earlier in the race in the 2-minute 9s shows for Sam Sanders, but now they're onto this straight again. Sam Sanders is surely going to try and break the toe here as they go towards the Le Mans chicane here on lap 7. 2 more to go after this. And what do you do if you're David Whitehouse here in P5? Is he going to help Jamie Jenkins again and try and get down the inside? Sanders defends to the inside. He can actually go a little bit lower if he wants. He can go all the way down to the white line, elects not to do so, has the lead through the the Le Mans chicane. Now is this the moment that Sam Sanders starts to break away. There is a bit of a gap for the first time in a while. I say there's a bit of a gap. Here comes the slipstream, and this is the problem that Sam Sanders has got, Howard.
Yeah, it is like the cycling peloton, isn't it? You don't want to really be at the front of it in a way. He gets good drive off of the Le Mans chicane, does Sanders, but it doesn't really matter how good a drive you get. And look at David Whitehouse, he's got a brilliant run off of the double slipstream he started this straight with. This is fantastic stuff between these three drivers. But now the low side team of Sanders and Jenkins starts to win back through again. This is brilliant stuff, Andrew.
This is a chess game played at over 100 miles an hour at the moment here in the CLUB100 BUKC iRacing Championship. All three of them at some point or other were in the top 4 as they ran through the tri-oval there. Here's your race leader, Jess Alexander.
Yeah, I just thought, I want to apologise to Jess. It's like, you're doing a good job. It's just, we've not seen much of a race leader. To be fair, Michael Weddle is keeping her honest. Yeah.
Again, these two drivers know they just need to get to the end of the race. They don't need to do anything dramatic. There are opportunities to race through. We already saw Nathan Maximin and Mike Hart both go from the B final up into the top 10 in the Okayama races earlier on this evening. Now, key phase now. That has been a very good infield for Sam Sanders. He's broke away. Has he broken the toe from Jamie Jenkins? That is the view back from Jenkins to David Whitehouse, who's now only got one car to deal with ahead to get into that top 4.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say he's done enough to break it, mate. I don't think the two behind him now are worrying about it. I suppose they do also get the slipstream. He's feeling the need to take a slightly shallow line there towards the Le Mans bus stop.
Jason Dilworth makes a very good point. Whitehouse checking where he needs to be on the last lap by my reckoning. That is a very good point indeed, because it doesn't matter how far ahead you are of the 5th place driver as long as you are ahead of the 5th place driver. Here's a battle between Ian Sumner and Tom Edwards side by side through the Le Mans chicane, and that's Tom Edwards up to 9th place.
Yeah, nice little move there. And look at this for the lead of the race, mate. and we're on the final lap. So one will have thought they won't want to throw it away, but we have got a last lap battle for the lead to boot.
Yes, we have. But these two just need to get round the final lap, and they'll be into the A final. We will have a lobby reset ahead of that A final. How's our key battle? Oh, it's changed.
Jenkins.
It's all changed. Jamie Jenkins must have had an amazing run round through the tri-oval and onto this last lap, because he's got back ahead and into 3rd. I'm stunned by that. I thought that Sam Sanders had enough of a gap, but I suppose 2 engines better than 1, so it is still all to play for.
Absolutely. How about this? It could be any of these two.
Yeah,
it really could. This is going to be quite dramatic stuff towards the line.
It really could be, and you never know. The front two need to keep it clean as well, because these three will happily pick up any spoils of war should it come to that. I'm sure it will not come to that between Jess Alexander and Michael Weddle, two very experienced drivers. They have got a back marker ahead of them, but I think it's Christopher Kirk who is a long way ahead. But what is happening in the battle for 3rd and 4th? Still Jamie Jenkins holding it. Is Sam Sanders holding back here to get himself in the correct position? David Whitehouse still there in 5th place.
If he drops back, I think he's hoping that David won't be able to work with Jenkins maybe there?
Possibly. It probably is a 4D chess game round Daytona tonight. Well, Jess Alexander has played this absolutely spot on. He's going to take the race win, take the B final and move on to the A final. Michael Weddle is going to join her, but which 2 other drivers are going to get there as well? They're going to do a bit of a Austria a Ferrari job in Indianapolis a few years ago. Michael Weddle's actually going to take the race win from Jess Alexander. It's going to be third place. Here it is, side by side. Now they are allowed to go down there. They're allowed to go down onto the apron, but they must not come back up. So David Whitehouse has got to stay there now. Sam Sanders is going to be third, and I think Whitehouse has got fourth. He has got fourth.
Oh my goodness me. Well, that one, I don't know how to tell you this. That wasn't a dead heat for me, Andrew.
No.
That was 1/100th of a second in it.
Well, there we go. Weddle, Alexander, Sanders and Whitehouse move on to the A final. There's more battles going on. And I did wonder, would someone go down low? It is allowed as part of the regulations. The rule is that you must not then come back up. Once you've committed down below the apron through the tri-oval, you must stay there. For me, that is what David Whitehouse did, and it's given him fourth place.
Yeah, you've got to feel sorry for Jamie Jenkins there, but brilliantly played by David Whitehouse for positioning there. And Sam Sanders, cool and collected, was you got the impression biding his time in many ways, because I think he did have pace to... well, he didn't have the pace to break away, did he? We did see that. But, yeah, brilliant race. Loved it.
Very good stuff indeed. We're going to take another short break here, because now the A final lobby will be set up, and we'll be back for more racing here at Daytona shortly in round one of the CLUB100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Can he hold that gap? Isaac Lord has got past Ben Page now. That's for 7th place. Go either into crucial Iredale's corner. Has Davis got the run? He's not going to be able to get the run surely down here into the Stuart Essence, but he may... Oh, he's got the run! He's gone for a big move! Switchback by Weaver. Read it beautifully, saw it coming, kept the steering open, let Ben Davis come into the inside, and he still held on to the lead. That was brilliant racing by all three of them here, and I think that's going to be the crucial moment, because Joe Weaver, unlike 24 hours ago, is not going to need to do the overtake on the last lap. Joe Weaver takes the double in Senior Rotax round 2 of Super 1 2022.
Line on row 11, Jake Wilkins and Andrew Ravage on row 12, and then we'll have our 2 qualifiers from the B final. Bryn Albin and Dean Everest form up the 26 entries for this, the lightweight sprint A final for round 9 of the 2022 CLUB100 Senior Sprint Championship. 12 minutes on the clock. Green light, great start for Mike Coppin. Sweeps across the front. It's a hugely important race, this, for the championship at the start of the run into the end of the season. Coppin versus Brunton. Early advantage, Howard, to Mike Coppin.
Yeah, absolutely. Last tour of the circuit.
White flag is going to be out this time. If they get past the line, it will run to the end. There they go. Oh, it's a big moment for Chris Hansen. He's gone round. Is that going to take anybody else? Yes, it does. Kelly Wright's gone. Hart's gone. Dix has gone. My goodness me, the race is going to keep running though. It's not going to go under caution now. On the last lap, it's 3 of them. Sanders has the lead. He's going to hold the inside. There's not really much help for Brenton at all. He's going to try and get the side trap working here. He's pulling alongside. They're side by side as they come through turn 4. It's going to be a run to the line here for the Simply Catnip 200. It's really close between them. Is Sanders going to hold it? Oh, there's a bit of contact there on the line. It's a photo finish. It's a photo finish. It's Preston. It's Michael
Stages of this race. Ross Witherow is digging deep again. Has got down to a 32.435 now. It's about a tenth of an... Oh, he's gone for it. Big send. My goodness me. Ross Witherow, brave as anything, on the brakes into the final corner, takes the lead of the race. That was a superb, awesome overtake, and now is Ryan McGinnis going to respond back here? He's looking for the inside now. 6 minutes have expired. That came from miles back from Ross Witherow. Kevin Shine is continuing to go round, by the way. Really, he can drive, he's just not got a lot of power in the number 22. And oh my God, round the outside attempting. That is an outrageous manoeuvre. Oh, we saw one lap ago. That was even better from Ryan McGinnis. And over the line to take the
racing room left by Whitefoot on the outside there. Good news for David Whitehouse. Look, he's got away. He just needs to get through Ascari Chicane and Curva Alboreto, and he's got a great result here. Tom Dix just holding in front of Steve Hicks there.
Dix and Hicks at the moment on the outside of the top 10. They need to get up 2 positions if you're Steve Hicks to get on the front row for contact. That's going to be a big one. Into the wall goes Dix and Hicks. Through goes Ian Sumner.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to live coverage on Alpha Live of the 6th and final round for Rotax Max Challenge Switzerland 2022. My name's Andrew Mather. Great to be with you here at the historic Kartbahn Vollen circuit on the 1st of October 2022. We're here in northern Switzerland for this season finale, and it's got all the ingredients to be an absolute cracker here today. Here's your circuit, 815 metres in length, 12 turns, technical, in its 60th year as well, 60 years of racing here at Vollen. The circuit established in 1962.
It's Michael Lenz. Michael Lenz, who had a great finish to heat number 2. Something has gone wrong for him there, and he is out of this race. That's a real shame for Michael Lenz. The driver he overtook for the lead on the last lap of heat number 2 goes by him. Samuel Ifrid. What a season it has been. He's going to finish it in the best way. The junior champion for the last 2 years. He was at Grand Final in 2021. He's going to be there again in 2022 as the senior Rotax Max champion. Samuel Ifrid takes the win here at Vollen. Kurt Behringer is going to take the win in Master Max.
Final lap of the 2022 Mini Rock Super Final here at Lonato. Cantan's down the inside, going for the move into turn 4, takes the lead. Has he overshot? It's going to be side by side between the 2 AB Racing drivers as they approach turn 5. Will be advantage Canton on the inside, holds onto the lead, but Cosma Christopher is charging along, has closed the gap. This is not over yet. Kalea still there in second place. They're heading towards the last few hairpins now. Cantan defends to the inside. Kalea still there in second. Cosma Christopher can smell that remarkable victory. Cantan's still got the lead of this race. He's got to defend down the inside into the last corner. Get the drive off the final corner. Who's going to be Mini Rock champion for 2022? It's going to be Vivek Cantan. And the title stays in North America for another year. Vivek Cantan wins the lead of the race. Cook is still there in second. Carter's still there in third. They slightly banged wheels. Carter around the outside takes second place. One more opportunity. You've got to think James Roots is still in there as well for the race win. Grayson Wortley, he's got to defend down the inside into Wilkins. He's done just that. He's got to get off the corner. Oh, they're going to be 3 wide. Coming off the corner. Ronnie Carter's gone round the outside. Ronnie Carter becomes champion in the 2022 Super One Miami Bambino Championship with a last corner overtake. Have you ever seen a championship decided like that? What a race win. It's not going to be his first one of the year. Joe Holmes knows the situation. Richard Allen is going to win at Buckmore Park, but for the first time since 2015.
Welcome back, everybody, to Daytona. We're getting ready for our final race of the evening here in the CLUB100 BUKC iRACING Championship. Andrew Mather and Howard Mitchell in the virtual commentary box for you. A final coming up, Howard. 20 drivers have qualified through to it. This is a very high-quality field. Just as we were loading into the lobby, I saw the average strength of field, 2.7k. It's going to be very competitive and hopefully a very, very good advertisement for the league.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're in for a treat to finish off the evening's racing, mate. It really is quite an impressive field. Not to rub salt in the wounds for any, but most of our Class 1 runners have got up, have trickled up to the top and got themselves in for this race. We saw Ian Sumner coming relatively close to maybe getting the promotion as a Class 3, but as it is our novice class, there's still someone is still to yet get that accolade this season, but we've got a long way to go yet. But yeah, just underlines the quality of the field is very good, mate. I wouldn't fare too well in this race. I can be certain of that. And yeah, I think we're in for a treat. Bearing in mind, as we sort of alluded to at the top of the session, people very familiar with this course. You know, it was being run so much earlier on in this iRacing season. We're getting towards the end of the iRacing season now. We just entered into week 12. But in January, of course, everyone was getting their eye in on this track in various different cars. Some people may even have done some stuff for the Raw, which this year was the GT86, wasn't it? Was the car for that. But nonetheless, that's still doing this course in a sort of, you know, car of the same, you know, people.
Ilk.
They haven't,
same,
ilk, exactly. They haven't necessarily been going around here in an LMP2, you know, or the LMDH BMW. So this is a very high quality field with, I would wager, a very high level of practice around this track.
Hello to Ian Sumner in the chat. Sumner Speed. Well, small mistake turned into big loss thanks to the dreaded turn 6 bump. It is such a tricky corner, turn 6. But a good effort from Ian there. Don't worry, you're not missing anything at the moment. If you're thinking, oh, there's racing going on, why aren't we watching it? This is just a warm-up. There's 53 seconds of it to go. And as I say, it'll be 20 drivers in the field. And then the results from this one will be combined with the results from Okayama. We may not be able to bring you the results here tonight because we have run over time, but we will put all the news and discussion and the photos as well from our cinematographer Thomas Cope up on the Double Dash Motorsport Media socials, so at Double Dash MM across Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Do give us a follow and a like and all of that business, because it really does help out, especially with future plans that we'll let you know about in due course. But yes, this is a very hard one to predict, I think, mate, because as we say, it's a very high quality field, lots of drivers who'd be fancying themselves to win it, and given the nature of this circuit as well, it's not like other places where if someone's a tenth or two quicker, they can work out a bit of a gap. It is all about breaking that slipstream. Yeah,
absolutely. It is going to be a really hard one to call, and I honestly think there's been plenty of evidence already this evening, right? We're not going to know until the line. Yeah. I'm pretty confident of that. I'd be surprised if somebody managed to break away here. Never say never, but I would imagine we're going to be in for 9 laps of uncertainty right to the last.
Good evening to Lee Henderson, who took a fantastically thought through and orchestrated heat victory in the Club 100 heavyweight sprints at the weekend. If you haven't watched that, do after this if you've got a bit of time, or later in the week as well. Head over to the Alpha Live YouTube channel and give that a watch back. We've also had with Alpha Live had the paddock walk that we did put up on the channel over at Alpha Live today. Here's your grid for the A final at the Daytona International Speedway for round 1 of the 2023 Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. Steve Hicks has pole position, virtue of winning the qualifying heat. Alongside him on the front row is Ross Deal. Michael Preston and Jack Eyre start on row 2. Adam State and the first of our C2 drivers for the casuals, Murray Adams, starts there on row 3. Cameron Watson and Mike Harter on row 4. Lawrence Vines and Chris Hansen on row 5. Josh Mitchell and Tim Penny on row number 6. On row 7, the second of the Class 2s, Chris Tomlinson and Sam Dimolo on his strongest Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship performance so far start there on row 7. James Fremont and Michael Weddle start on row number 8. Jess Alexander and Sam Sanders on row 9. David Whitehouse completes the field. We are missing one driver. I'm trying to work out now who that is, but we are just about under starters orders. Lights out on the pace car. Pace car will pull 2 drivers left into pit lane, and then we will be ready to go for 9 laps in the MX5 Cups around Daytona Road. Hold on to your hats, everybody. This could be quite dramatic. Waiting for that green flag on the start gantry. There it is, and away we go. And this time Ross Deal learns from the B final, checks down, locks in P2 straight away, but Steve Hicks will lead it down into the first corner. Are they all going to be able to get through here? It gets tight as you go through the chicane, through the kink there. All looking pretty well behaved at the moment, though. Howard Mitchell, great start for Steve Hicks.
Yeah, absolutely. That was exactly what Hicksy wanted, although he's under so much pressure into International Horseshoe. Thankfully for him, Ross Deal can't just think about attacking, or maybe he can. He's found a gap, but he'll be on the outside for Dogleg. Now, this is always a difficult one, Andrew. You can almost feel, oh, when someone's off.
It's Adam State.
It's Adam State's off.
Yeah, Adam State is out of contention for the race win. Ross Steele down the inside with a bit of help from Michael Preston behind as well in the number 19. He's going to take the lead of the race as they approach turn 6. Off in the background, Mike Hart, Josh Mitchell involved in an incident. They're both going to get back running again, but that's not good news for the number 11.
No, that's a disaster for Mike Hart. You got to feel for him. It was all just getting a little too close there. But Ross Deal, Andrew, has got a good run here onto the banking, but one would have thought that those behind him will redress the balance in the slipstream, provided they're not too far back.
Yeah, this has been a really good middle part of the first lap for Ross Deal. And it's over to the others now to try and reel him back in. But that is the thing around this Daytona circuit. You can do that. You can work as a pack. You can pull a driver like Ross Deal back into your grasp, as it were, and that's exactly what they've done in the latter half of the back straight before they've reached the Le Mans chicane. They are right there. That is the challenge that Ross Deal's going to have in this race. You'd think he's got a little bit more pace, but he hasn't got that much more of an advantage that he can break this humongous train of drivers trying to chase him down.
No, this is why we love the racing here, Andrew. Look at this. Look at Team Preston and Deal on the outside. Look how they've made that work for them. They've just gone straight from third and fourth into first and second.
Yeah, Jack Eyre getting on the front of that one and taking the lead of the race. And I think Cameron Watson
as well.
We saw him earlier in the qualifying heat. He likes this high line, the wider entry through turn 1. Now the trouble is there's not a lot of grip on that part. You can just see he has a bit of a snap of oversteer, isn't able to take fourth place. There's an incident further back. I think it's Josh Mitchell who spun around in the background. Yes, it is. The BK car is off and in the wall, and that is the end of Josh Mitchell's hopes of winning this particular race.
Yeah, absolutely. Look how little field spread there is, though, Andrew. If there's any tears amongst this, we spoke about the quality of this field, but you're not going to lose 2 or 3 places. You're going to be at the back.
Down the inside goes Michael Preston, looking for the move. Can he get to the front? He had an awful time in Okayama, didn't make the A final earlier on this evening at Okayama in the Daytona A final. He's right in the mix for the win, but he's not been able to overhaul Jack Eyre. Is there an opportunity now at the inside for Ross Deal to take P2, getting the slipstream of Jack Eyre? Yes, there is. Michael Preston falls down to third.
He will, but the only thing that seems to be certain at the moment is whatever order they come on to the banking in. Whoops, that camera's not going to help us very much. We're just going to look at the ins of an MX-5. It's almost certainly not the order that they'll finish it in when they get to turn number 1.
Top 5 are breaking away now. Steve Hicks and Murray Adams there. Murray Adams down the inside. Steve Hicks lets him go. That's a big run from Murray Adams down the inside of Michael Preston. He gets it done. I don't think he was expected to go for the full move there, was Murray Adams, but he made it work.
Yeah, absolutely. Here they go then onto the second piece of the banking. And it's a good gap that Jack Eyre has, Andrew, but the trouble for anyone who leads this race is that the drivers behind them will work together. They are going to be savvy to it, and they'll line up in series, try and get the bump drafting. Bit of shake and bake going on to get themselves onto the back of the leader.
And it just wilts away. It was 0.5 of a second. It's now less than that. In fact, he's lost the lead. Ross Deal ends lap number 2 as the race leader. Down the inside there is Murray Adams. Michael Preston trying to go around the outside there in the FFR car, the orange and black machine. But Ross Deal controlling. Oh, it's off goes Hicks. Steve Hicks. Now I think he just missed the barrier. He just missed the barrier. It keeps him in the race. He falls to 11th, but that just shows you how tricky that exit of turn 1 is.
Yeah, absolutely. That was heart and mouth stuff right there. Heart in the mouth. And but he'll live to tell the tale, which is not what I thought I'd say for any incidents.
Jack Eyre and Ross Steele side by side as they go through the second of the infield hairpins, running towards turn 6 now. And it's closed back up again. We were talking about a top end of top 5.
We told the lie, mate. What's Steve Hicks worrying about? He's only 2.5 seconds off the lead.
Yes. The missing driver is Nathan Maximan, who didn't realise there was another race being run. I heard a big bang in the background. What was that? Was it Tim Penny? That sounded like an engine failing, to be honest. I think it was. I think Tim Penny's engine has failed.
I agree.
Well, that is not expected. But Tim Penny, yeah, there's no motive power in that. Tim Penny's going to be out of this race.
Into the Le Mans bus stop then, side by side, as is becoming standard in this race.
I like the wheels. I like the wheels.
I like the wheels. It's good, isn't it?
There's not enough gold on race cars, which is why I was very happy with the Jota Sport livery today, to go completely off topic. Very nice.
Yes.
Anyway, back to things here at Daytona. We're not even halfway through this race yet.
I've got to say, still getting a bit of blinking from Chris Hansen, which is not too bad for me. But if you're with him on these straights, okay. But if anyone does have any blinking, I've got to say, if you're on these straights and someone's blinking, that is going to be a major distraction if it does occur.
Around the outside, looking there, as Jack Eyre gets good drive off of turn number 1, but everyone is still in with a chance of this.
Just look at this. This is just brilliant, mate. Side by side all the way.
Jack Eyre still leading off of the International Horseshoe. I'm just looking at Steve Hicks because he's been so strong around this Daytona circuit so far tonight. Apart from that one little mistake, he's there in the 787B livery. Coming back into the order, Ross Steele down the inside, takes the lead of the race.
Well, that's the question. Does he want to do that before coming onto the banking?
Oh, big moment there for Jack Eyre. Just got his rear right in the dirt. Held it, but that's going to be an opportunity now for Michael Preston to come down the inside and try and take second place.
I won't be facetious, by the way. I genuinely question whether you want to be leading this pack when you come out of the infield onto the banking, because it seems to be the one place you don't want to be.
Little bump there from Preston on Deal. Setting into the formation. The train has been formed between Ross Steele and Preston. Coming up the outside now is Jack Eyre. He's going to try and sweep round the outside into the Le Mans chicane. Brilliantly done. Brilliantly controlled by Jack Eyre. That's him up to second place.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. And now I want to say that everybody down to Jess Alexander in 11th is separated by 2.1 seconds.
A colossal amount of time here in Mazdas.
A chasm.
Well, we've now got a proper high. A NASCAR race has broken out here. We weren't doing the NASCAR till later in the year. What's going on? But Michael Preston's got to the front. He's with the help from Murray Adams.
Oh gosh, I genuinely don't know how to call some of these things, mate. It's just ridiculous. Steve Hicks is starting to buy into this gradually, though, isn't he? Side by side with Chris Hansen.
Back in, as is Lawrence Vines and Cameron Watson in there as well. But Michael Preston takes the lead of the race, and it just feels at the moment, Howard, like the pressure is starting to build. Like the drivers are starting to get a little bit more risky with some of the moves, getting a bit more bold in places, because they can see that Preston and Deal are controlling this race at the moment. They can be beaten, but you've got to be kind of in that 3rd or 4th place position late on to do so. You can't do it really from where the likes of Chris Hansen and Jess Alexander are at the moment, down in 8th, 9th, 10th position.
No, absolutely not. And yeah, as you say, getting a bit bolder, as once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go onto the roller coaster that is the latter sector of the Daytona International Road Course. What's it going to be this time when we spin the roulette wheel?
And we've still got 4 laps of this to go. Truce at the moment between Preston and Deal. They're just going to keep trying to do this. It's all they really can do at this phase of the race. There's no point fighting because they could get shuffled back into the pack. Try and work together, but such is the effect of the slipstream around this circuit, even with them working together and working together well, they just get reeled back in by Jack Eyre, by Murray Adams, Michael Weddle from the B final. That's gone completely under the radar. From the B final is now into 5th place.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. As we've been saying, Jess Alexander, who finished 2nd in that race, is becoming a part of this as well. Look at this then, heading towards the line.
Drivers going down under the apron, so the rule is they've got to stay there now. Preston is staying there, but this is where you lose out. It's the latter part of the run towards the braking zone of turn 1. Murray Adams trying to go for the lead around the outside. Jack Eyre trying to go for the lead around the outside of him. Nearly 3 wide as they're on the apex of turn number 1. Michael Preston makes it work though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sam Sanders is back in this as well. He's appeared on the scene in the number 34. He's come from the B final as well. This is shaping up to be an absolute classic to kick off the season here in the CLUB100 and BUKC iRacing Championship. On board now with Steve Hicks, looking round the outside of Sam Sanders. There's not a lot of grip out there on driver's left through the 2nd hairpin, heading towards turn number 6. I think it might be Jess Alexander off to our right.
It's Weddle. It's Mike Weddle.
It's Michael Weddle. So Steve Hicks down the inside retakes 6th place. And you can see the leader. You can see Michael Preston there. The problem is there's a 5th of the field between him and the leader at the moment.
It's absolute. I mean, apologies, folks. I shouldn't be going speechless as a commentator, but this is for me, mate. This is one of the most entertaining races we have seen in CLUB100 iRacing. This is just brilliant, lap after lap. We do have to end this, I'm afraid, folks. We have to declare a winner in 3 laps time.
Who picked this? Who picked this combination? I'm feeling pretty smug right now. Michael Preston still leads this race. Ross Deal still in 2nd place. I've got to say, the tactical notes that they've showed so far has been very, very good, but such is the strength of this field. It's going to take a lot more than that to win this race. 3 laps to go. There's the shot back from Michael Preston. Jack Eyre trying to make that top line work once more in the Rethink Racing entry. Steele just showing down the inside of Michael Preston, getting in his left-hand side mirror. Oh, was there a bit of contact there? I think Michael Weddle's run out wide. He's going to get back on circuit, going to be side-by-side with Jess Alexander. 3 wide, that's going to get very tight. Cameron Watson's forced onto the grass. There's contact with Steve Hicks, and it's all broken down. Steve Hicks is in the wall, Jess Alexander's in the wall, and that'll be their race's run.
Yeah, goodness me. I mean, that almost went 4 wide through the S there, Andrew. On the way towards International Horseshoe. I've never seen that end well.
I was having flashbacks to our Daytona 24 there. I know what that wall feels like, folks. Meanwhile, at the front,
absolutely.
Well, at least for these guys, that just reduces. It reduces the competence behind them.
We've just put. There's just a control rod has just got into the absolute. Nuclear fission reaction that was this battle. I mean, yeah, disappointing there for Steve Hicks and Jess Alexander. Hicks had been working his way back up well after the little moment he had a few laps ago earlier on in the race, and Jess had worked her way up well from the back, having got through.
Into the Le Mans chicane they go. Sunset in the background there. Daytona looking resplendent as always in these weather conditions. Michael Preston just starting to stretch his legs a little bit. As we say that, look at Josh Eyre just pop out of the slipstream, but then starts to struggle again. Here comes Ross Deal on board with Jack Eyre once again, 3 wide.
Murray Adams to the top side. Ross Steele to the bottom side. Takes the move through. Penultimate lap of the race begins now.
It could be any of these 5 and, well, most useless comment ever, Andrew. It could be any of these 5 and none of them.
Yes.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, they could all come to blows. They've not got long now. Lap after lap, they've been so close, bumper to bumper. Less than 2 laps to go now. On board with Sam Sanders, who's raced brilliantly from the B final. Through the kink they go. Ross Steele continuing to control well, doesn't feel the need to defend at that point. And again, the drivers behind not feeling the need to go for a move down the inside into the second hairpin. Looking back now at Michael Preston, who's always been there every single lap of this race, has responded really well after the disappointment in the Toyotas earlier on this evening. What has been a long evening for the drivers here tonight. A couple of changes of position to report just further back. Mike Hart up to 13th place ahead of Josh Mitchell and James Fremont. Some big I was going to say, there's going to be some drivers here that I think are going to get some of their best results ever in this championship. I'm not talking about the debutants. I'm looking at David Whitehouse there in 12th place as an example.
Yeah, he's kept it clean, hasn't he? And he's going to be on for a really good result here if he just keeps it like this.
So here we go then. Out of the Le Mans chicane for the penultimate time. White flag will be out shortly. Can Ross Steele hold on to this position? Could be on for a round win here. Michael Preston isn't in that position tonight. Gives the bump draft to Ross Steele. Is anyone going to try any different lines, any low lines below the apron or the big one round the outside? They're 2x2. Murray Adams just has got his nose ahead, maybe no. Ross Steele starts the final lap as the race leader, so that's key to note that the low side won out in that slipstream and bump drafting battle. There's 2x2 still through turn number 1. Deal holds on to the lead. Preston P2, Murray, and here comes Sam Sanders going for 4th place as well. This is what we wanted, Howard.
Yeah, Michael Weddle's come back into this, Andrew. They've been battling so much, and with the slipstream on the straights, Michael Weddle and Cameron Watson, who were well off the back of this after the Hicks and Alexander incident, they're back in this.
Michael Preston ran a little bit wide, but he recovered it well out of the International Horseshoe. Now Ross Steele feels the need to defend. Maybe he's practiced it enough. Maybe he knows he can lead this out through the final chicane and to the line, but had to defend there. Oh, bit of a moment for Michael Preston. He's off. He's off. He's back on again, but surely he's going to lose positions there. No, he's recovered it. He's recovered it back. He's now maybe going to get some help from Sam Sanders behind.
But what that's done is that's given Ross Steele a hope, Andrew, of getting through to the end here. Surely they'll be on him. But I think he's got good grace.
He's got
opportunity. He's got opportunity now until the Le Mans bus stop. I now think there's only going to be one opportunity to overhaul him.
They've got to get organised though. They've got to close that gap down. If it's more than 6/10, Ross Steele might have enough here. The 2x2 in the chasing pack, the 2 FFR cars at the front. Change of tactics for Michael Weddle. Falls back into the racing line. Through the Le Mans chicane they go. Is Ross Steele going to have enough? He's not going to have enough. He's going to have to defend as they run from the Le Mans chicane towards the tri-oval for the final time. Is anybody going to be able to get underneath him or round him? Is Ross Steele going to be able to defend all lines here? Michael Preston has got the run. Michael Preston's got his nose ahead. Here comes Sam Sanders as well. It's 3 wide. It could be 4 wide. It's the straight run to the line. Ross Steele's gone low. I think he's made it wrong. It's the wrong decision. It's going to be Sam Sanders. Is he going to win it from a B final? What a way to finish at Daytona. Sam Sanders wins the A final, having come through from the B by 0.035 of a second. Murray Adams takes P2, Cameron Watson P3, Michael Weddle P4, and the 3 drivers that were at the front for most of that race. Michael Preston finishes in 5th, Jack Hare 6th, and Ross Steele 7th. Wow, what a finish.
Side by side across the line. That, for me, Andrew, I am seriously pushed to think of a better finish to a race in Club 100 iRacing than that. What an amazing finish! The top 7 separated by 0.36 of a second. The top 7. That is just my goodness me. It's just. Well, Steve Hicks is coming around to finish as well. By the way, I mean, what a role he played in entertaining us with battles as well. But oh my goodness me, what a finish!
Words.
And as you say, the drama that the top 3 weren't there for most of the race in those positions.
Words don't do it justice. Words do not do that finish justice. But Sam Sanders, who lost one of those last year in the NASCARs at this very circuit to Michael Preston, that'll feel good to get that one back and take a race win, and a very helpful start to his season. Let's have a look at the final results then for that A final here at Daytona, and I'm sure the results will be being calculated as we speak. We may be able to get them in before the end of the broadcast here tonight. Sam Sanders wins by 36 thousandths of a second ahead of Murray Adams. Cameron Watson third, Michael Weddle fourth, fifth for Michael Preston, sixth for Jack Eyre, seventh for Ross Steele. Adam State got back to 8th place, having had an incident on lap 1. It says Chris Hansen is the best. Well, he wasn't, because he finished 9th. I'm only kidding. That's a great result for Chris Hansen, and Lawrence Vines on his debut finishes in the top 10. Great results as well for David Whitehouse, second of the Class 2s, home in 11th place. See, I'll tell you, David, do enough laps round here and you become an absolute wizard round Daytona. 12th place for Jess Alexander on debut as well, raced through from the B final. Mike Hart, well, I've loved to have been part of that flurry at the end, but had an incident early on, finishing P13. 14th for Josh Mitchell, 15th for James Fremont, 16th for Steve Hicks, 17th for Luke Tomlinson, 18th for Sam Dimolo, 19th for Tim Penny, who had an engine failure, and a did not start for Nathan Maximum there in the A final. What can you say about that? Some of the racing that we've seen here tonight. I know we've had a few technical issues, but what a start to the season. There's been some fantastic action.
What can I say? What a good question that is. What can you say? I mean, yes, we were rewarded for the wait. Let's put it that way. A few technical hitches, but the racing tonight. And you know what, Andrew? Yes, I think that A final was unequivocally the highlight for me. But right from the get-go, we threw 40 cars or so at Okayama earlier this evening, and you know what? The standard of racing on the whole has been brilliant. And I feel like it's becoming cliche now, because I feel like I spent most of last season also saying I'm very impressed by the standards. But we keep on upping the ante, and the drivers keep meeting it.
Yeah,
that's the really mad thing for me. That's what I can't get my head around.
I think particularly tonight, the fact we went to Okayama with a new car to the championship. We all remember very well that first event we ever did, and how popular it was, and how it was the starting point for a brilliant championship to be a part of. I also remember it nearly breaking the stock GPU on the PC that we've got here at DDMM HQ, because there were so many cars flying around and not necessarily going in a straight direction. What leaps and bounds the championship has come on through since just about 3 years ago. I think we're going to try and stay on until at least we've got a provisional result. Now we should stress there is a protest system. There is a cooling off period for protests, and I don't think in terms of my DDMM VAR position I've seen anything that's clear and obvious. So we'll hopefully not have to get too involved. But yes, the results, if they change post any protest, will be available on the DDMM social media at Double Dash MM on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter for all of that. Whilst we're padding, things coming up as well. I should go backwards first, because CLUB100 Sprints, if you didn't watch it, is all available. It was very good.
It's a good
we
point.
had some great racing there, and as we said, the Paddock Walk went up online on the Alpha Live YouTube page today. This is where I frantically pull up the calendar to remind myself what is after the next event. Because I know what the next event is. That would be the next visit of BUKC to Wales. We're at GYG, which I'm very much looking forward to. Because I've tried to think. Actually, no, it's not that long since we commentated at GYG, because we did a sprint there last year, didn't we? But
we did, yes.
Howard, you're not there with me. You're on baby duty.
I'm not. I'm gutted. I am on baby duty, but also I love GYG, so yeah, it's slightly good. But no, it's going to be good, no doubt about it.
And after certain football results tonight, we're in a hotel for GYG. It's a 45-minute distance away, but it's next to a certain football ground where, after certain results tonight, I might just pop down there and remind them who's made it to the FA Cup quarter-finals. There we go. With my Billy Sharp shirt on. There we go. So that will be the 15th of March. There is an event in between, but I don't think it's live streamed. But hello to anyone going to the Bookmore Park Awards evening on the 11th of March. I will be there comparing it all. Lovely stuff. We've then got a little bit of a gap. But once the gap is over, we get into the very busy April. And as I say, there's going to be more information about this coming out in due course. We kick off again at GYG. Super One visiting Glannygores for their season opener. We've then got a short trip up the road to Wilton Mill a couple of weekends after that for the next CLUB100 seniors stream. Then we really get into our stride, because that's when we find our next CLUB100 iRacing round. So the 19th of April is when round 2 is. If you've watched it tonight and not competed and not signed up yet, and you are an iRacing and you do have a history of racing in CLUB100 and BUKC, or you are a current BPEC driver, the entries are open now. They are reopened to enter for the whole championship and say, yes, I want to do round 2 on the 19th of April. The weekend after that, we've then got the Bookmore Park 24 Hours. Really looking forward to that one. One of the best events that we did last year. Great to be going back there for the 24 again. Can't go into too many details about that one. There's going to be some pretty cool people there from what I've heard, though, so that will be very, very good indeed. And we'll just wrap off April with, you know, a casual BUKC finale at Clay Pigeon and Super One at Rowra in the same weekend. Oh boy, we're going to do some mileage that weekend.
By the way, we have worked out how to clone you, haven't we?
It's questionable. We're working on it. Yeah. Yes, Clay Pigeon to Rowra. Ooh, okay. But yes, no, it's going to be a very, very busy April, and potentially some other bits in there that we're just going to hold back here. We're not going to talk about them too much yet. Have we got a result? Have I rambled on enough for us to get a result? Not quite yet. I think Mr. Hicks will be. He's got more results than he normally has tonight to try and get it all together.
I mean, it's worth saying, you know, when we were having the technical gremlins earlier on, obviously it's not what the organisers want, but shout out to Steve Hicks, who's
yes
pulled everything back onto course whenever we've had a hiccup this evening. So yeah, they've kept the show on the road, albeit we've had to make a few pit stops.
Right. I think I have a result.
Yeah.
I think I have a result. First up, we're going to announce the winner of the C3s. Alan Curtis, from the information that I've received here, is your top C3 tonight. Good consistency from Alan. 26th place for Alan. 217.5 points. Wins it by 2.5 points ahead of Ian Sumner. And Michael Lithgow a further 3 back. So there you go. There's your 1, 2, 3 in C3. Tom Edwards was 25th.
Just to say, that's by way of a lot of consistency, isn't it, Andrew? I'm not actually sure that we saw Alan be the highest placed Class 3 in any one race.
Yeah, he's got the consistency. He's got the C3 win. Let's go from 25th upwards then. 25th was Tom Edwards. 24th, David Whitehouse. 23rd, Matt Hale. 22nd, James Fremont. 21st, Christopher Kirk. 20th, William Doyle. Sam Dimolo, 19th. 18th for Jamie Jenkins. 17th for Dan Gamblin. 16th place is highlighted, so yes, this is our third place driver in C2. Well done to Luke Tomlinson there. 15th place for Lawrence Vines. 14th for Michael Preston. So that Okayama round, really costly for Michael Preston in the context of this round, but there are drop scores available across the course of the year. 13th place for Tim Penny. Jess Alexander finishes second in C2 tonight with 12th place, 258 points out of a possible 300 acquired there. 11th place for Mike Hart on 261, misses out on the top 10 by half a point because Josh Mitchell got 261.5. Cameron Watson was 9th, a further half point ahead. Chris Hansen finishes in 8th. Steve Hicks finishes 7th. In 6th place, we find our winner in C2, Murray Adams, on 276.5 points. Really good win there for Murray Adams. I feel that last race in particular was a big one for him. Into the top 5 we go then. There was a tie for 4th place on points, actually. So Adams State on 279.5 just misses out on 4th place on the virtue of countback with that last win there for Sam Sanders. So Sam Sanders was in the B final in the Daytona section, ends up 4th there on 279.5. Michael Weddle finishes 3rd, 280.5 points. 2nd place to Jack Eyre on 289.5. Your winner of round 1 for the 2023 Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship on 294 points out of a possible 300. Well done to Reading University's Ross Deal. Good round.
I think brilliant round, and I have to say I think that's a particularly, that's a big win in my opinion for Ross Deal. Nobody has ever. We threw variety at the drivers last season, across the season. Tonight has been, so much variability, and for him to have won, and look at how we've got tyres and all sorts down the board. It's actually a fairly comfortable margin he's won it by. So really good consistency from Ross. Battled his way through all of that right to the last, and a well-earned victory there. And I have to say as well, really good stuff for Murray Adams. What a finish he had to the A final just then. Could have been a Class 2 overall winner of that A final. So really good driving for him. Gosh, what a round it's been, mate. What a round it's been, and it really puts me. I'm so excited for the rest of this season. And I'm worried. I'm going to run out of superlatives. but what a way to kick off the 4th season of Club 100 iRacing.
Absolutely. So the next one will be April the 19th. It'll be the GT3s and their first appearance in 2023, and a new circuit, completely brand new circuit to the championship for 2 40-minute races. Fuji Speedway, which was put onto iRacing and launched, what was it, about 2-3 months ago? We'll be going there for round number 2. More places with lots of straight lines and lots of opportunities for slipstreaming, because that's worked pretty well tonight. We're going to wrap up there. Thank you everybody for your support. I know we've had some technical issues with the lobbies tonight. It's been a bit of a longer stream than we were planning, but thank you for staying with us. Thank you for your likes, your shares, your subscribes and all that business at Double Dash across your social medias for all of the extra content after the racing over the next few days. We'll see you at GYG for the next round of BUKC. We'll see you back here in about a month and a half's time for the second round of this, the Club 100 and BUKC iRacing Championship for 2023. Enjoy what's left of the rest of your evening, and have a good rest of the week. We'll see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.